This is Wix Studio, built to meet any brief. When your project calls for bold creativity,
they did not think it was a microaggression, and it wouldn't make sense given that they did not think it was a microaggression, and it wouldn't make sense given that those women would not accept my apology anyway. I'll just say who it was. It was Dean. And if we keep doing this like tone policing and this, everybody's racist and everybody's sexist and everybody's a misogynist, like we're going to keep losing young men and young people to the other side. So we just have to decide like what is more important? Like, is it more important for us to be right, or is it more important for us to win? I'm assuming we're not live.
No, I just said, sorry, wait, I just said we're live, so don't say anything crazy, okay?
Okay, gotcha. I'm Z. I'm the executive director of National Ground Game and Soul Strategies, political organizer, political operative. Been doing this since 2010, 2011, and now have, I guess, come into the spotlight due to this entire situation.
When you say you've been doing it since 2010, 2011, can you just curious, what was your start into organizing?
Yeah, so I went to school at Wagner College, which was a small, like, liberal arts school in Staten Island, New York, which is actually a swing district that we ended up flipping in 2018. And during that time, I started school there in 2010. And that was during like the Occupy Wall Street movement. So there was just a lot of stuff going on. Like there was a lot of protesting. There was a lot of like civil disobedience. And I would have to like take the ferry back and forth to school. So I lived in Washington Heights, and like I would have to like literally like go through Occupy Wall Street every day. And that sort of like started my questioning around like, well, like what is like the oligarchy? Like what do they mean by like rich people are taking over the system? And so I started like really looking into that. And from there, like got involved in some like local elections, like for city council, some stuff for state senate, and then started teaching a course in college called Society and its Social Problems. So I'd help like the freshmen with that course. And that's when I decided that, I really wanted to get into electoral politics specifically.
Okay. And then the PAC that you described now, what'd you say it was called?
It's called National Ground Game.
Okay. And then when did you start that PAC?
So it started 10 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is not like I think a lot of people are like, oh, this is like a very well-established, in the space. And it's really not. Like, people don't understand that this PAC was seriously just a passion project. Like, me and my, like, very good friend that we did work together on Bernie's campaign, we got together and we were just really pissed off about what happened with Kamala's election, and, like, not just, like, how much money was spent and like how irresponsibly it was spent, but just like the general sort of malaise of like not going out to middle America, like not having the ground game that we thought that we really needed in order to win. And so because of that, we saw a lot of places that Trump took over that he shouldn't have, right? Like, New Jersey, which was like way really like out there, Virginia, places like that. That shouldn't even be considered like moving into swing state territory. And so we decided that, what is something that we can do to make sure that as we're going into the midterms in 26 and into the presidential election in 28, what can we do to make sure that we don't continue to lose ground in those areas? And so we came up with the idea of National Ground Game because we're like, okay, well, if we can mobilize people in these areas, if we can get them out door to door, if we can actually do real deep canvassing, like not just like GOTV canvassing, but like real deep canvassing, that we could convert those people, and then we might have some success at making sure that we don't that we could take back the House in 2026 and the presidency in 28.
Sure. And then just for people listening, the GOTV stuff is like a get out the vote. That's like not targeted canvassing. Basically, all you're doing is you're kind of just like going out and talking to voters and making sure they know that they're signed up to vote, as opposed to like actually going to people's doors and trying to change people's minds and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like, the problem with GOTV canvassing and just like the Democratic Party as a whole and like how we tackle elections is that we always wait until like 2 weeks before election day, right? So like we totally ignore these areas. Like we don't go out, we don't do the organizing work, and then as soon as we actually need people to vote, we try to go out and we have these sort of like surface level conversations. But at that point, people are too angry and like they just don't care or they just don't answer. And so the idea of deep canvassing is that we go out there and we actually, instead of us like trying to get information out of people, we're asking them to give us the information. So we're saying, okay.
Did you know you can AFK
What the
blood
fuck
from
is the
Zale
difference?
whilst learning to code in Python? Go to boot.
You know, you're angry about these issues. Like, why are you angry about these issues? And like, what can we do ultimately to get you back on our side? And that's a lot. It's a lot more time, it's a lot more money, and it's a lot more effort. So a lot of people don't do it for that reason. But if we see like the statistics of districts that we flipped in the past, like for example, I was just talking about like Staten Island, right? Like Max Rose flipped that district in 2018. And the way that he did it was through deep canvassing. Like he had a massive deep canvass program that actually flipped voters to register as Democrats.
Yeah, one of the things I spoke about, or I've been talking about, is this. I kind of joke, but it's not really a joke at all, actually. I shouldn't even say I kind of joke. Is that Trump can be like easily analyzed as kind of like an influencer president. And if you work in the influencer space, one of the most important things is staying relevant and being on people's minds. And as much as people might make fun of Trump for the constant unhinged tweeting or the constant unhinged posting on Truth Social, he does a really good job of kind of like staying ever present in the mind of somebody. And like you said, you're up against this really difficult fight where you start campaigning for an election a month or two before or a few weeks before, and you realize the opposition has been campaigning basically since the end of the last election. Like all of these issues have been present in people's minds for so long. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is like Republicans never leave. Right? Like they set up shop in a place and they're just there forever. And so that makes our job a lot harder because we don't have that infrastructure on the Democratic side. And I think a big part of why we don't have that infrastructure is from a lot of what you've talked about, Destiny, right? About like how we are so concerned like with our image, like we're so concerned with what everybody says and all of that bullshit that we don't actually care about like the electoral organizing piece of it. Like we'd rather look good than do good. And so because of that, like, and we don't stick together. So when something like this happens, like everybody just fractures off into a million different pieces and like runs around like chickens with their heads cut off. And Republicans do completely the opposite. Like Republicans like mold together, like they stick together, and it's like they're all always on the same messaging. They stand up for each other, like they do that, and we just don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so then I guess to catch people up then, I thought that I didn't know the pack was as recent, I guess. So I was hoping to move a little bit more sequentially through time. But, okay, so you've been organizing for a while. You worked a bit on Bernie's campaign, and then now you started kind of this pack as a passion project. And then this is where I guess me and my audience heard about you for the first time. So do you want to walk through, I guess, a little bit, I guess, from your perspective, like the sequence of events that happened? Everybody saw everything blow up kind of on a huge TikTok call. Yeah, what was the context, I guess, to that?
So let's go back, I guess, I think it's important to know a little bit about the PAC first as well. So the PAC started 10 weeks ago, created by me and my friend, I won't mention his name. But, you know, Bernie Sanders operatives, you know, really, we're both Democratic socialists. I helped AOC's campaign too in 2018, so like you can tell how far left I really am. And when we started this this PAC, we decided that the first thing that we were going to do was work on the Florida special election. There were two districts that were up for different reasons. We're up to have Democrats potentially go into those seats, and that would tie us back the House, or actually win us back the House if we actually also won the New York seat, which, because our team did so well in those two districts, Trump ended up pulling out Elise Stefanik at the last minute, so we couldn't win the House, unfortunately. But the idea was there at the time that we could win back the House if we stuck through with those races. So that's what we did. We started like first week of February. I had a TikTok that went pretty viral, thanks to Hawk on TikTok, who I got to work with. And we raised about $400,000 for that, which was really unexpected. So the first thing that we did with that money was that we mobilized as quickly as we could, and we got. And then
just wait real quick, just to understand the scale of things. So you guys raised $400,000 off of primarily viral TikToks, kind of.
Yeah, so it was just literally one TikTok went viral.
And this was just
It
for
got,
a
like,
special election House seat for the two ones in Florida, and then you said the one in New York, right?
Yeah, so the one
Okay.
in New York hadn't been announced yet. So it was going to be announced, they thought, in June or July. But because this election, like these two seats were looking, the polling was not looking good in the Republicans' favor, specifically in Josh's district, which was District 6. So he was running against this guy, Randy Fine, who is like a horrible piece of crap.
Okay.
You guys could look into, yeah. And so Randy Fine was not a good not a good Republican to start with, but Josh had run a very, very competitive race, and they did polling a couple days before, and it looked like Josh could have won by 3 points, which in like a plus 30 Republican district
Yeah.
is insane. So that's why Trump I guess got nervous about that, told Elise Stefanik to not leave that seat, and then because of that, obviously, like we couldn't win back the House, but still was worth like fighting for, because if we could even tie the House, right, like that's like better than nothing. But we got out there, we flipped Escambia County blue for the first time in 30 years, which was huge. We shifted both of those districts 15 points to the left. We got 1,000 people registered in District 6, which was massive because these are very low turnout elections.
Yeah.
And we did all of that in like 15 days. So we showed that like we can definitely move these districts like further left. And so because of the results of that, we had a little bit of money left over after the election, and we decided that what would be the best thing that we could do to build electoral power with that money that we had left over. And the idea was that let's go after the person that we think is the best organizer in this space. And honestly, like the biggest threat in this space, which is Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk is, not the best debater, not the, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he is arguably, I would say, the best organizer on the Republican side.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about this,
yeah.
and I've talked to my stream about this. Listening to him talk to Gavin Newsom, I was astounded at the amount of political savvy, I guess, that he has when it comes to organizing and understanding elections. He's an incredibly intelligent person.
Yeah. He is. Yeah, he is. And that's what makes him so dangerous, because Turning Point USA has been around. I think that their inception was 2009. I'm not sure if Charlie had been there the entire time, because he was very young, obviously, at that time. But it is his organization now, and they have been very...
Does Charlie Kirk, like, organize elections? I thought he just organized those fucking college events where he, like, dunks on dipshits.
Successful. He visited 300 college campuses just last year. And if anybody thinks that didn't have anything to do with the fact that we lost the young person vote, specifically young men, more specifically even than that young white men, then I just think that they'd be lying to themselves, because that...
It's just really interesting. I don't think of like random political events outside of an election as like that important to elections, but I guess it makes sense just when you think about it for like 1 second that, that they matter. I just never thought about that. Crazy.
Charlie is really the only person in this space that is tackling that group. Democrats are not doing that work at all.
Yeah, and it was I think some of the polling might have reverted by now, maybe because of the tariffs, but it was a huge margin. It was the largest, I think, ever difference between young men and women in the history of all of recorded polling for differences in political opinion. Young men were swinging like plus 30 red compared to young women in that age group. So, Jesus.
It's huge. It's so huge. And the fact that nobody... I mean, like, we talked about it a little bit after the election. There was some like commentary on it here and there, but nobody was talking about it in the sense of what are we going to do to win these people back? Because if we lose our young people, then like, what the fuck do we have? Like, how are we going to win elections? You know, it's like, that's like the one group that we're supposed to rely on for Democrats. And we can't even rely on that anymore.
Yeah. That taking some groups of people for granted is probably not the way to go.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, so so you guys started the Unfuck America tour, and that started with your highlights here were Dean and Parker, these were your like two kind of lead talent people. Can you talk about what was the thought process for getting these two guys? How did you set this up initially? Like, how did you reach out to them as far as you're comfortable sharing and everything? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So the idea was that we were going to go after Charlie Kirk. That was the idea. And we were going to create the exact same tour that he has, which is essentially that what he does is he sets up his tent, right? He does like an Ask Me Anything. It's really just to get clips to, quote unquote, humiliate, young Democrats into looking stupid so that goes viral. And then, but really that's just sort of one piece of his operation. The other piece of his operation is the Turning Point USA piece, which is where he is essentially getting these young boys, mostly in frats, from what I have seen on the outside, to organize chapters to then flood this information on college campuses, which is really smart. And so our idea was to do completely the opposite. We want to go into sororities, and we want to get the girls, because our idea is that guys want those girls, and those girls are mostly liberal anyway. But if we can get more of them to join our side, then we have an even better chance at continuing this organizing work that we desperately want to do. And so we were thinking about, well, who would best represent young boys on these college campuses? Who do they want to be? And that's something that is difficult, because while the right
A CRM shouldn't weigh your budget down.
has got a lot of these like fresh and fit,
the whole manosphere basically ends up pulling for the Trump crowd.
Like we don't have that on our side. And so Dean definitely was the first person that came into my mind, because he sort of is the only person that I know that's of that age group, but then also sort of bridges that lifestyle space with the political space, with the debate space. And was really happy. I reached out to both Dean and Parker through a friend of theirs on TikTok, who I was a mutual with. They were interested straight away. They thought it was a great idea. And then at first it was just going to be that. It was just going to be Dean and Parker going to these college campuses. We'd set up the same way that Charlie Kirk set up. And then eventually we wanted to get other influencers to come in. But then we thought about it and we thought, well, how do we know for sure that we're going to be able to go viral with this? Like, what is a way that we can strategize that to know that we almost have 100% chance at going viral?
Sure.
And the way that we decided to do that was by getting in sort of these micro influencers, or not even micro. I mean, some of them had like pretty big platforms, and get them to sort of push the same content at the same time so that we would all go viral, which worked. That was, it was a great strategy, because almost everybody on the tour went viral. Dean had the most views that he's ever had on a video. I think he had like 25 million on one of his videos, the first video he posted just on TikTok. That same video, I think, did over 20 million on Instagram as well. So definitely, like, the strategy definitely worked there. But unfortunately, that was not the whole story, because even though it was successful, not just during the tour, but when we came back, clearly there were some other things at play that turned the tide.
So you guys did a grand total of, you just done one event before this recent kind of blow up happened, or had you done multiple?
No, just one. Yeah,
Okay.
just Texas A&M. Yeah. So, and the idea was that we were going to use that virality and for fundraising purposes so that we could continue the tour and, you know, go to wherever Charlie Kirk would go next. And hopefully we'd be able to grow this out so that we could hire staff. We could earn like equivalent of Turning Point USA chapters within these schools. But of course, you know, with $100,000 that we had, like that wasn't going to be able to happen with just that. So yeah, it was a big part of the success of this was making sure that we went viral so that the fundraising could continue.
Okay, so you guys do your first event. As far as the event itself goes, and as far as all the media that comes from that, everything is pretty positive, right? I didn't think there were any problems related to the event itself. It wasn't until afterwards, I guess. So what exactly happened? There was a Discord, or not a Discord call, sorry. There was a TikTok call group thing where I guess some people wanted to express some frustrations. Can you explain, like, who are these people? What were the frustrations? And then how did you end up getting involved with that?
Yeah, so like the event was extremely successful. So just to sort of paint the picture, we had 5 staff borrowed from different firms that me and my friend both work for. That, you know, I have my own firm, he has his own firm. We lended staff to this project. So we had 5 staff that were on the ground. We had 4 temp staff that came in and out of the project like as needed, and we were essentially handling 35 influencers on the ground, which at first we thought would be easy, but turns out that influencers think that they're actors, and definitely act that way towards low-level staff. And so, you know, overall, I think it was very good. I mean, yes, there were a lot of, you know, diva behaviors and things like that we dealt with, but you know, we work with candidates, so we get that those things happen. And the actual event at the university.
Can I just real quick, let me just qualify that, just because I want to be as fair to all sides as possible. Let me qualify that because so I used to be a professional gamer and I've worked a lot in these spaces now. Well, actually, I guess organizing these exact spaces and then also on the programmer side and the influencer side and the streamer side of things. For a lot of these people, it's just that a lot of them are super young. They've never actually had a job before. They've kind of been thrust into the spotlight. They have like huge sums of money, sometimes coming in if they're big enough, or lots of fans. And it's just, yeah, for a lot of these people, it sounds stupid, but on a business meeting, I imagine for most business conferences, you're able to say, this is the time that you have to show up for this conference, be here, here's the schedule, and then you're good. It is absolutely not that way with anybody in this space. You need to have people calling to make sure, did you wake up? Did you remember to take a shower? Do you have all the things you need? Did you catch your flight? You need to be here at 7 a.m. You have to stay for the full time. You can't sneak away and go do something else. You have to come back tomorrow. You can't get drunk or high or do any crazy stuff tonight. Like it's a lot. It's almost like a babysitting job when it comes to just because of the age demographic and everything for these people. But yeah, just I didn't know the number before. So you saying like, oh yeah, 35 influencers in and out, that should be easy. That's like 10 full-time jobs worth of managing children. And I say children endearingly, and that scales all the way up to 40, 50-year-old influencers. It's everybody acting like that. Yeah.
It's everybody. Yeah, it's everybody. It's like I guess like going into it, we just didn't realize like how not self-sufficient these people would be, and so that was a big part of it too. And I won't say everybody. I mean, some of them were awesome. Like some of them were like blue-collared, you know, types that came in, got the job done, understood the assignment. But then a lot of them, yeah, exactly what you said, like it very much was like a babysitting situation. And we had, as I said, we had limited staff. So we were really just like working as hard as we could. The school was not on our side at all. The day before they canceled our spot that we were supposed to be in we were meant to be 20 feet away from Charlie. They canceled it by saying that they didn't realize how many people were going to be there, because I guess like it had blown up a little bit on social media and the school got nervous. So they were like, hey, we can't do that anymore. So then we didn't have our spot. And so our team was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, rescheduling out. We had a 6-person creative team that we'd scheduled where they were supposed to be on campus at all different times. That whole thing fell apart. We couldn't do that.
It's not real organizing unless there's a dramatic shift in plans 12 hours from showtime or whatever, of course. Yeah,
it was. And so like we got there, and we honestly, we did the best that we could with what we had. The school told us that we could like go rent out an amphitheater. They told us it was 1,500 feet away. It turns out it was completely on the other side of campus, like miles and miles away. We were like shoveling like sound equipment, like huge pieces of sound equipment, all of this. But even with like all of that stuff happening, it was so successful because what we basically decided to do as a staff was to divide and conquer, which I think was like the best organizing strategy we could have done, which was that we decided to set people up where Charlie was, even though we didn't have a tent, but we still set people up there. And what ended up happening by doing that was that people were drawing people away from Charlie's crowd. So Dean was like in the middle debating people. We had 2 other creators that had another debate circle. And so what was happening was that people were interested in what these debate circles were happening. And so they were literally like pulling away from
especially
Charlie.
because as Charlie's gets so huge, you know, you could either be 200 yards away from Charlie, or you could see this other tent that's set up that people are going towards and be a lot closer there and everything too. So, yeah.
Yeah, and because we didn't even have a tent, we were just like we had influencers going into the crowd and being like, come with us, like, you know, go to this debate circle, go over here. And that was really successful because at one point, there were more people around those 2 debate circles than there were actually watching Charlie, which was that to me was a huge highlight. But then also, while that was happening, we had the amphitheater going on where Parker was. And so Parker was down there debating, and we were drawing kids in as they were leaving class. They were all going onto the field, which was also a nightmare because the school like turned the sprinklers on people to get them to leave and all sorts of stuff. And then at night, Charlie had a huge like closed door event. And honestly, it was terrifying, like how many people were there. I mean, he probably filled, at least 3,000 to 5,000 people in that venue.
Yeah.
And we were waiting as the lines were like beginning for his event. We had Parker and Dean and all the influencers essentially doing the same thing they did earlier in the day. So they were pulling people out of the line, getting them to debate, and then creating debate circles around them, which was distracting people from entering into the event. And then while they were in the event, we set up a stage in the
Nuts.
pavilion where they were leaving the event. And so we were doing a live debate there too. And that grew huge as well. We had tons of like kids coming out watching. We had parents coming out. We had people exiting the event watching. So overall, like it was really successful, even with all the hiccups along the way. And then when we came back, the virality of it, the fact that we had, electeds and people that were interested in the tour, all of those things was successful, and the creators knew it was successful.
Because for a lot of these creators, this was like some of their largest. I think I think you said for Dean, right? It was the largest video that he'd ever had on TikTok as a result of this, right?
The largest one. He picked up something like 300,000 followers on TikTok, over 300,000 followers on Instagram. He got over 1 million on Instagram during this tour.
Yeah.
So
I think I saw something. I don't know if this is like a drama subreddit that is just, I'm not sure, but I think this is the first time I think Dean passed Parker in subscribers or something, and I think it was largely off the back of this. Am I getting that right?
I'm not sure about their subscribers, but that wouldn't surprise me at all because just the reach on his channels alone from this was absolutely massive. And not just him. We had smaller creators, because a big part of this too was that, and that's why I think this whole thing is so funny, because it's like a big part of this was we wanted more people of color, more women, people with smaller channels to have the opportunity to get some of this wave to them. And so we had people with like between 20 and 40,000 followers that were getting 6,000 people watching their live that day, going like mega viral. We had people picking up, between 20 and 100,000 followers on small accounts. So so it wasn't just successful for Parker and Dean. It was absolutely successful for every creator that came.
Sure. Okay. So then, so that happened. Everything seemed like a success initially. And then, okay, so what is this what is the call? I'm sorry, I've been
So
informed it's
then-
not
okay,
call, it's a
so
TikTok
essentially-
live. Yeah, what is this TikTok live?
so, so everything's great. We get back. It's Wednesday. Between Wednesday and Sunday, everything is like good as gold. People are talking about when is the next one, when are we organized, like what's going on. We were telling them essentially, give us some time. We're still getting out content. We're going to figure out the next stop. And then I guess something happened on either Saturday or Sunday that like changed the tide.
And for real quick, just on dates, this was on Saturday or Sunday. This was on the, how long ago was this? Was this the 27th, 28th, or the 20th, or the 19th and 20th?
Yeah, well, the event was on, let's see, when was the
Sorry, I saw the call. The call was named Quiet Time, and there was just something in my head. It was like, yes, choose war.
You chose war because you love war. And your
I
neck is
love
awful.
war. Well, I am a Hassan hater, so I must love war.
Peace.
Also, that echo should be gone. My headphones just turned on. Sorry.
Very exciting. What are you up to?
I just woke up.
Haven't slept since
And
I woke up.
I schizo posted on Parker a little bit. But like, I don't know. I can't tell if I'm being reasonable or unreasonable, and that's the worst kind of situation to be in.
Uh-oh.
Well, basically, I texted Parker yesterday. I said, hey, want to chat? He said, yeah, I have to go get my prescriptions from the store, and I'll be on in 30 minutes. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, no worries. I'll wait. And then, 8 hours later, at 6 a.m., I texted Parker again, and I was like, damn, bro. 8 hours later, and bro just didn't even show up, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and that's all I was expecting, right? Well, then Parker texted me. He's like, yeah, well, actually, I ended up getting invited to hang out with these other people and to play, like, some games. And, I just decided to do this with them. And I would not care if Parker went and did a different plan. But the part that pissed me off is the part where I waited in this call for 8 hours.
And he
for
didn't
him
even
to show
text
up,
you or anything.
and he couldn't even tell me that he wasn't going to come until after I left the call 8 hours later. And I texted him and said, imagine going 8 hours waiting for your friend. And he said, oh, sorry, I got invited to do something else. I figured I'd come clean. It's like, yeah, why didn't you come clean 7 hours ago, you fucking asshole? Like, all you have to do is tell me, hey, bro, sorry, I'm not going to join the call because something's going on. So it takes, and I don't have to spend an entire day waiting for your stupid ass.
That is 1,000,000% reasonable, but on the other side, like, this is an extremely rare thing for Parker. It's probably something that he never even has to think about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a small, and like, why do I care that he just didn't chat? Like, my day wasn't ruined. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't negatively affect me in any way. Just a minor annoyance. That's it.
Yeah, but
So
that's
I'm not
like a
exactly
super
trying to,
easy
like,
consideration for Parker to make. But yeah.
Yeah, that's just where I'm at. It's like, I don't want to be an asshole, but I keep typing in asshole messages and then deleting them because it's like, I was waiting for 8 hours. I feel slighted, but also like, I don't want to be rude to Parker in this situation. But I think I probably have been more rude than I should have been.
Maybe a little bit. But yo, Parker, if he's gonna be more social, you better learn that shit, so.
I mean, I told him this. I said, here. Do you want the full context or you just want what we talked about today?
Either one. I'm down to dive into it if you want.
Full context is kind of long.
Okay.
And I could do that if you want. Here, how about this? Let me just figure out where I even start this shit at. Okay, I'll just tell you everything, right?
Okay.
So, at 8 o'clock yesterday, the exact
8 a.m.
time.
or p.m.?
8:13 p.m.
Okay.
Okay? I texted Parker. I said, bro, please talk to me. I'm bored. I actually need a friend. He said, you good with a question mark? I said, I'm not going to die. I'm just bored and want someone to talk to. He said, oh, okay, lol. And I said, sorry if that was dramatic. just legit so fucking bored. Want to watch anything? Like anything at all? And he said, sure. And I was like, A-team server or the main server? And he said, doesn't matter to me. Just need to get my pills from the store real quick, 15 minutes. And then I was like, yeah, go, no worries, go get your meds, no sweat. And I was like, Parker was like, I look and smell bad so much right now, and I'm too lazy to shower, but fuck it. And I was like, my thoughts on the matter is if you're going to pick up antidepressants from a pharmacy and you smell like you haven't showered, then maybe they shouldn't judge you because you're clearly fucking depressed.
Yeah, sure.
And anyway, we were talking about that for a little while. Then, that was it, right? Parker, like, didn't... He texted me, okay, I'm back at 8:44, but I was already in the call and he didn't join, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, 3 a.m., right? It's 2:59. 2:59 a.m. I text Parker. I say, imagine, bro. I've been on the call all day. You never joined. 7 hours later. LMFAO.
Yeah.
Then, Parker says, I told someone I would chat at 8:30 before you texted me. I'm sorry, little bud. They got to me first. It's gone on a little longer than I expected. But you notice how he said 8:30 in that message. This is the thing that pissed me off yesterday, is because my exact timestamp for him texting him saying, bro, please talk to me, was 8:13.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like really fucking weird.
So I was pissed off. From my perspective because he said 8:30. Well, then, this is the rest of what he said. He said 8:30, no. He said, I was going to chat with you for an hour before 8:30, but then I had to get my pills, and when I got back, you were AFK. And then he said, nigga, so ring, and now this call has gone on longer than expected, but you know how it goes. Anyway, thought I'd come clean with you, big dog. I'll be on the call later, and if not, then I'll be on tomorrow, because I want to play some games with the boys. Games tonight, whoa, anyways. So then, I texted him the screenshot of me saying, like, talk to me at 8:15, instead of 8:30. And I was like, bruh, I texted you first, ho, then unironically waited all day because you said you'd be on soon, and bro just never showed up. Like, I don't actually care, but that's a lame-ass excuse, low-key. Would have preferred hearing just fell asleep or didn't want to chat, then actively chose to do something else, LMFAO. But also, I don't really care. Just lame I got stuck talking to other people all day and being bored. And then, he said, hope you had fun anyways. Or no, I said, hope you had fun anyways. Now I gotta get back to doing what I always do, and this is where I get a little passive-aggressive. I was like, waiting for death alone in a silent room with no one interested. I'm sure you will text me back in 7 or 8 hours, though. And then I sent him a Doki Doki girl hanging news.
Holy shit.
And then I was like, nah, for real, Rocket League, though. Then Parker sent me an actual screenshot of the friend who texted him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to keep in mind, in his time zone, the time difference is an hour. So I texted him at 8:15, and he said his friend texted him at 8:30. But his friend actually texted him asking if he was free at 8:30 at 8:13. 2 minutes before I texted him.
Okay,
Parker.
wow.
So then Parker sent me that screenshot, and he said, not an excuse, my boy, but literally beat you by 3 minutes. And then I responded with this. I was like, also, I wasn't actually mad that you didn't chat. I was just tweaking out the perk yesterday. Sorry. It's like, I wasn't even upset about the concept of you not chatting or getting a different invite, but I legit waited 7 hours not knowing you weren't going to show up after saying you were. That's the part that mildly annoyed me. But it is genuinely so unimportant. Just feels bad to know you spent an entire day bored and waiting for someone who had no intentions of joining or letting you know.
Yeah.
The letting me know part is truly what I took issue with, but it's like a 3 out of 10 issue from yesterday that I'm fully prepared to drop this morning entirely, but I did just feel like I should explain myself further after last night because I kind of schizo posted when I saw, and then I wrote the stars read irritation minor. And then I said, I would just like to be kept appraised of the goings-on. If you're busy now and can't chat, just tell me before an 8-hour, 9-to-5 shift has elapsed. And that's the end of our conversation. That's the entire dialogue with everything Parker said and everything I said. Hopefully, that didn't take too long. Because I started at the beginning.
That's base. No, that was like a few
I
minutes.
could have summed that up, but I don't know. It just feels like if I sum it up, I'm gonna gloss over things or like slant it towards myself more, and I just want to read the messages verbatim.
Right. So, do you want to break down the when did he start to when did you guys start to talk about who texted first? I feel like I slightly missed that part.
At 3 a.m. So first I say at 8:30 to Parker, let's chat. But his friend already said at 8:15, let's chat. I didn't know that. He told me yes. Then, after being...
Wait. Did he tell you yes after he knew that he was going to chat with his other friend?
With his other friend, yes. In his perspective, he already knew he had plans upcoming, and he could only chat with me for like an hour. That being said, he did not tell me that until the next day, until the next morning at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Almost 10 hours later, he told me that he already had these plans, but he was only going to be able to chat for an hour, and yeah, anyway. And like, it wouldn't have been such a big deal if like...
Just like any amount of extra communication to like show what he's doing, not to leave you like in the fucking dirt.
Communication, but also like most days I wouldn't have cared as much. I just sent you a random text so I could open our DMs again. This is the part that bothers me. This is how I opened our dialogue. Like you would think.
Yeah. Wow.
In this situation, you could give me the bare minimum back.
Yeah.
The bare minimum. Like we don't have to talk. If you're busy, I don't care. Just tell me. Yeah, I don't know. It was irritating.
Definitely.
And the worst part is like I seem very unreasonable for being really rude about Parker just for like socializing with people, which is a thing he never does.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to do this situation. Oh well. What are you up to?
I'm just mining and crafting.
Nice.
I was watching this this drama with I don't know, you know Dean and Parker on TikTok.
Yeah, I know Dean at least.
They were doing some event. I don't know how to sum it up that well, but they were doing some event where they collaborated with a bunch of other little creators.
Okay.
And it basically devolved into like some crazy woke shit where the entire event fell apart because some lady that was organizing it, people got mad at her for making like racist microaggressions, and it was like way blown out of proportion, but it like ruined their whole event. So I was watching Destiny talk to that lady, so kind of interesting stuff. There's that whole situation is whatever, but they're talking about a lot of interesting stuff about just like political organizing, which is really cool. Like I didn't think about this before, but the dumb shit that Charlie Kirk does just to go to like college campuses and like talk to dipshits to generate like, I guess like viral clips and stuff, it is apparently really, really important for winning elections. That's like a very meaningful event, and that's kind of the same thing they were trying to do.
That's what the leftists say, but then they did that for the entirety of the last presidential campaign, and then it did nothing. So
Wait,
I just have a hard time with that. Kamala Harris, her entire media presence was focused on making these like really notable clips on TikTok and shit, and they were great. They were awesome. The social media campaign was legendary. I loved it. Me and my sister were talking about it like every day, and it did nothing. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
she had so much.
She did lose.
They were dogging on Trump every day. I don't believe that it was a legitimate election. If you want me to be real, I know that sounds
you have to trust the election.
Well, and I know you can't like just say the system doesn't work because then you turn into a Trump derangement syndrome maniac. But all I'm saying is fucking okay. Why the hell did Elon Musk get to use Starlink to count the votes? Like, why is that allowed?
What is that? Wait, what does that even mean?
It just in my head seems too coincidental. It's like it doesn't matter if there's no evidence that he did anything wrong. The fact to me that a guy who is very close in cahoots with one of the two candidates and owns the entire platform, like he owns and operates the platform that they counted the votes on.
Is that wait?
Too biased.
No, does
he?
Owns
Starlink, and Starlink was responsible for all of like remote voting or whatever. Like they counted like a bunch of them.
What do you mean they?
But, like Starlink was the machines, the voting machines.
Is that true? I thought it was a totally different like. Wait, Starlink.
Look up like Starlink's involvement in the.
Can I look up Starlink voting machines?
Yeah. I might be misquoting this, which is why I was saying to look up.
Are you? I just have never heard of this. I would think that you're mistaking Starlink for like something like Dominion, which is an actual voting machine thing, but I haven't looked into this that much. Fact check: was Elon Musk's Starlink used to rig the U.S. election?
Al Jazeera says that despite popular online claims, Starlink had no connection to vote tabulation.
Yeah, I thought that they had like
a good website, but
well, they're at least like a journalist organization or whatever. But my understanding
I've never
with
even heard of them is why I asked.
I guess with counting votes, there's like I'm pretty sure like on individual local levels, like all these little areas have like their own vote counting machines where they take like the ballots and shit. I don't know where in the process Starlink would be able to like change votes or something.
The vote counting machines, right? This is what the claim was. I found the original thing. The vote counting machines like send their information, right, to a satellite. And the satellite sends it to the data hub where they're collecting it all, like in DC.
Okay.
And that satellite was owned by Elon Musk.
Okay, I guess that makes that like at least puts it in a place where it would make a little more sense.
That's the thing that but either way, I already found fact checking saying that they did no fucking bazookaing. I just remember in November that was a really, really big deal. People were talking about that.
I do remember people talking about that. I just didn't look into it because I like to.
I didn't look into it either, but I just assumed. I was like, you know what? At this point, I don't need evidence.
Yeah, fuck
Trump
these guys.
Accused of is wrong. Everything he accused of happened.
That's fucking hilarious.
I'm sorry. He was found civilly liable for 3 different rapes, and people still love him.
Yeah, it is nuts, but yeah.
Like, I don't care anymore. You don't need the standard for evidence for Donald Trump is the same for me. This is how it works. Ready? You know the Republican standard for evidence of what Donald Trump says being true? They just take everything he says at face value and assume it's true.
Yeah.
That is my standard for evidence for Trump being guilty.
Based. That's based as fuck.
I use their exact standards on them, and I'm sorry if that's fucked up, but they require no evidence to believe everything he said, so I require no evidence to believe every bad thing about him.
That's fucking awesome.
I think that that's valid in a way.
Yeah, in a way at least.
Maybe it is, but in a way.
Yeah. I forgot what we were talking about before this. I thought I wanted to say something, but I don't know.
Starlink or
Based.
Parker. Those were the 2 topics.
Something with Parker, I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Could have been something with Starlink. Something about how I just assumed those shits were real.
Oh, it was about Kamala Harris's campaign. The one thing I was gonna say about, like what the kind of shit Charlie Kirk does versus just like social media, just like Kamala Harris or the Democrats running a good social media campaign. The big difference is that Charlie Kirk will do these events like whether or not there's an election going on, whereas like the Democrats and Kamala Harris, they basically just scramble to do all this as the election is coming up.
Second. Yeah.
So it's like a deeper kind of thing. That's the big thing that I understood from it.
No, that's actually a really solid point because I would say like Destiny and Hassan have much more solid followers than Kamala Harris ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people in the political sphere that have like a very, very well-known presence and you can tell what they're about and you agree with it and you want to be like their little follower. But like, I don't know. I get tired of that. I think I'm the only one. I think I'm the first one in this whole group to say, fuck having a conduit. I will read the news myself.
That's base as fuck.
Because I'm tired of the conduits, bro. Hassan was a piece of shit who I loved for years. And Destiny is a piece of shit who I loved for years. And I can't stand Atrioc, and I can't stand fucking Vosh, and there's nobody else left.
That's pretty base to like go through all that shit on your own. I try to do a decent amount of that, but I'll obviously still trust like basically Destiny, who I'm watching all the time.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I feel much more lost. It's a lot harder. I don't know where I'm at anymore. Like, I instantly changed to fuck Israel, pro-Palestine as hard as possible the minute I stopped watching Destiny. And it's weird because I didn't try to. I just tried to. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna challenge my biases, and I'm gonna try and hear out the other side. And I did that for 10 minutes, and I unironically can't go back. No matter how many points on the Jewish side I hear, there's just nothing that convinces me that this isn't intentional displacement of civilians, of non-militant civilians. Like, you want to talk about how just yesterday or the day before or whatever, they announced that they are officially evacuating all Palestinians out of Gaza and taking it. It's Israel's now.
They're evacuating them? I thought they were just going to try to occupy it.
No, no, like, the entire point is not evacuate. What's the word? They're removing.
I guess.
All Palestinians in Gaza Strip right now are leaving by force.
What do you like read stuff about it, or do you just try to talk to like Parker and Dylan and like other people about
That
it?
was no. That I read that in shit, what was it? I think it was. I want to say it was Time. I know Time isn't like the best source.
Well, like any journalism source would be like something that they're making people leave.
I don't agree with that. I think that the journalism source in particular matters. But
Well, it matters a little bit, but what are we looking up? We're looking Israel occupy Gaza.
Yeah. These new, just the new shit in the last couple of days, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Christian joined at the same time as Jacob. That's a weird coincidence.
Yeah, so I said Christian's following me.
Yep. We've been in a private call for like 30 hours today.
Yeah, sure.
Yo! Are you making fun of Kinsley, or is she just screaming nonstop?
Holy shit.
Yeah, fucking stupid
Jesus
baby.
Christ, I gotta go check on my kid niece. What the fuck's going on? Hello?
Hello? They're coming for Williams next, bro.
Wait, Michael, what are you eating right now?
What am I eating?
What are you eating right now?
Air?
What's that fucking crunch I hear?
It was probably Williams.
Yeah, Michael, how dare you have background noise in your mic?
He was probably stepping all over the trash in his room.
Here, let me help.
No, I was.
More please, more please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just hungry for crackers.
Sorry, yeah, I was eating chips, bro.
I was trying to make a joke. I was trying to make the joke that I was eating something when Michael was eating something.
That's fucking
And then you
hilarious.
just
This is
had
what
to
you
fucking
get.
rape my ears, dude.
I'm sorry, Christian. It was Michael's idea.
True.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. He literally said it's probably Williams. So I said, "You want it to be Williams? Here you go. It's Williams now."
Did you say that, Michael? I don't think you said that.
I honestly
He said
just can't
it's probably
remember.
Williams stepping on trash all over his floor.
I don't think Michael said that, Jacob.
Yeah, what did he say? What did he say, by the way? What did Michael say? Yeah, what did Michael say, Jacob? I'm really curious as to what Michael had said.
I went to
Like,
Death of the other two, and I put a fucking Cheetos wrapper over my mic and just started squeezing shit.
Yeah,
Come
I
save
heard,
her.
I heard the noise that you made, Jacob. It
Yeah, I
wasn't that
deafened the
bad.
other two, so I didn't focus
Thank
as
God.
much as
I never have
You
to
know,
know
I
what
keep
that noise
everyone on
was.
like 30% because I'm ready for your raid, right? This is how Discord
yes,
goes.
that's why I know I can do it to you. I gotta get the
We are
Cheetos
not
on my mic.
exactly. We're not civilized. We are animals in here.
So
Now, real
base.
shit though, does any of you want to do anything with me that sounds fun? Like, I just don't want to do something boring, but also I say that every day, and I'm just tired of being without friends because
You wanna play
Parker made me
Rocket
feel
League?
really insecure yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's how he gets
Why?
you.
Rocket League it is.
I was
Was
gonna
it
say we could play For Honor
I
if
have
you
a
had it.
question.
For Honor, I didn't reinstall because it's 100 gigabytes, and I tried to, and it said you don't have room. So I don't know
Christian.
what to uninstall for.
Rocket League might be free on Epic still.
It is. It's permanently free.
Oh.
They bought it and made it free to play.
I saw him open Halo for that as I said that, and he went dead silent. That's
It's
funny.
been open.
It just
Christian
popped up
does
on my Steam saying you're playing
Hey,
it,
you
so I
gotta
don't know
do
what to
my
tell you.
game. Says a guy.
Christian, play
Christian?
Halo Infinite and have a good time, okay? I love you. Thank you for spending time here. I appreciate that.
Don't tell me what to do.
Christian, I'm
Well,
gonna
I
sneak
was-
into your walls in the middle of the night, and I'm gonna rip every single map off your walls, and then make you sleep on them.
Wait, you're gonna rip all the maps off my walls?
Yep.
Not my maps. Anything but the maps.
Not the maps that I'm pretty sure were Christian's brothers and Christian didn't even put up himself. Or did you put those up yourself? I think you told me something about like something like you tripped or I don't remember.
Dude, this isn't my house.
Well,
I don't know where.
I don't care. I'm still shoving the maps up your ass and making you sleep.
No, Christian had told me something about those maps on the walls a long
Yeah,
ass
it was
time
from
ago.
the trip. You were right. It was like place sweep in.
I was like trying so hard to remember. I was like reaching into my brain and doubting every single word I was saying, and that's why I'm really glad that you would confirm that for me. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing, buddy.
This just
Christian won't
says.
come play. Christian won't play with us because he's allergic to fun.
Don't make fun of Christian. Everyone makes fun of Christian. You need to try being original. Make fun of like Michael Peterson. Who does that besides me?
True.
Actual question. Like I'm the only one who bullies Michael. Come on.
Michael, do you want us to bully you?
Maybe a little bit.
See?
Okay.
It's like in human nature. You want to get your balls ripped off a little bit.
I mean, fairness, the reason I bully Christian is because that one time we played Halo, and I've never forgiven him.
Are you still not high enough to play ranked?
No, I'm only level 9. We have to win games to meet a level.
Oof.
But I'm also in this party, so the winning games is significantly lower.
Fuck you, we'll win.
Yeah, you have to carry.
I'm gonna warm up the first couple games, so we're gonna lose the first couple, and then later on I'll be locked in.
Well, you should know, yesterday me and Dylan actually went sicko mode and won like 4 of them, and I actually leveled up like 2 times. So
Well,
I get like
don't
2,000 for leveling up, bro.
The event
Well, yeah, but
that's
I got
out right now
multiple
with the
daily
every.
missions.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, with the event that's out right now, every 15 games you get a free level as long as you go and claim it every 15 games. It repeats.
Oh yeah, that. But no, I'm saying like I was getting a daily bonus of over that. Wow.
No. All right, bro.
I'm sorry, I didn't think you would hit it like that.
Watch me. I have full boost, by the way, and I just don't boost until it's way late because I just didn't think it was going in.
You're good. Yeah,
Like,
no, that's fair. But he did have a perfect lineup though.
True, but I had full boost and I was right there. I could have done something. I just didn't think it was gonna go in, so I just rolled entirely.
Up. I'm also warming up because I am bad.
Ooh, that was clean. That was a juke.
I didn't hit the angle I wanted. No.
You're good.
Oh, it was
He
almost
juked
sick.
it. I was ready for the setup. Yeah, you had a great setup, but he juked it. Oh, he juked me there.
No,
too.
I missed it. I had the lineup.
I took the setup from them at least.
Yeah, good.
That's a good lineup.
Oh, he hit it. but it's still lined up.
No, yes, no.
Oh,
So close.
he barely blocked it. Yo, sorry, shit. That was my bad.
You're good. No, you're good. That actually moved me in the right direction, so you're good. That's bad.
That is bad. That's very bad.
All right, warm-up games go like this, man. I need to like
You know
rub
what it
the
is? We're
fucking
not
shit out of
cooked
my
enough, bro.
eyes. I haven't smoked anything this morning, so I have no reaction times.
Yeah, I've been only playing Expedition 33 all day, and I've still been sick most of the day, so I've only even been half playing that.
Bro, you know what's crazy is last night my dream was about me calling out work just so I could hang out with you and Dylan. I think I just gold.
Wow, we just went sicko mode on ourselves!
Yeah, we did. Look how bad my save is. My save is so fucked up here.
Yeah, I double jumped.
Okay, I'm trying to read this shit and I just fucking yapping about bullshit. William said that all the people in Gaza are getting evacuated. That's not the right word, but he said something like that. And the most that this says is that they're getting moved to like the south of the enclave. Shh! Fuck you, cat. Okay. So they're calling Gaza the enclave. Let me just find that real quick. Yeah. So this is like a similar thing they've already done. Didn't they? They were like, while they were fighting Hamas, they shoved the population further and further south into Rafah? Yeah, this is like right here on the border with Egypt, isn't it? I think so. Yes. This is Gaza, this is Egypt. Crazy. Wow, Israel's fucking huge. Damn. Annexing Gaza is a possibility, and once the military expands its operations in the enclave, it will not pull back, even if Hamas agrees to a new hostage deal, he said at a conference in Jerusalem. Once we conquer and stay, we can talk about sovereignty over Gaza, but I didn't demand that it be included in the war's objectives. There will be no withdrawal from the territories we've captured, not even in exchange for hostages. Wow. And who is this guy talking? Oh, this other far-right finance minister guy. Smotrick. Shut up! Shh! Please. Yo, shut the fuck up. Shh. Holy fucking moly, dude. Can I turn on the light in here? Yes, it works. Sometimes my lights work and sometimes they don't. Got plenty of light. So, I mean, what Williams is saying is that, I don't know, I could talk to him more about it, but it's like much harder for him to understand any argument for Israel, which I kind of get, especially when they're doing like shit like this. But like on the other hand, Hamas and the Palestinians don't do anything to push in that direction either. I think, yeah, I don't know, just like constant terrorist attacks and not coming to the table to do stuff. They are also not interested in a deal at all, and I can't really blame Israel. Well, I mean, this is just based off what I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't blame Israel for just going hard on like fighting and bombing the shit out of them when repeatedly they don't seem to want to have peace either. They just want all of their shit back and won't make any concessions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should read more about this, but this is something to read about. I don't know.
It's like it's not the worst, but it's not like the best either.
I mean, if you want, I can.
And it kind of does. It really does taste nasty. Like I thought it was.
Yeah,
the
it
grinder too
does.
that first day,
I thought it was the grinder, and then
but
I
no,
tried it. And yeah, it's just bad.
It's fucking up. Like I keep almost gagging on hits, bro.
Yeah, when the dude was talking about being shit weed, he was not actually kidding.
Nope. And
I know he
when
said he
you're
was
like,
joking
when
after.
you're like, yeah, bro, I still have terps weed if you want some. I'm like, do I?
Yeah.
No, I'm not like out. I have like half an ounce. I got like
based. Because
I'm
by the
just
time
saying,
you
like,
probably
I've been-
run out, I'll probably still have tips weed because I'll probably go back to the dispensary if I'm not going to blaze weed before then.
I do need to ask you for a favor though, if that's
Huh.
okay.
So I drop
well, I
off
was-
mushrooms in the joint.
Pretty much, except slightly amended. I can come by your house if you want, or you can come by my house. Either way. But the entire point is like I do want to rob that joint from you. But the thing that has become a higher priority is me robbing those mushrooms from you, because I'm supposed to go back and microdose tomorrow on Friday, but I cannot because I do not have the $60 required. So I will be going in a week or so, and I was hoping that I could rob you of those mushrooms tomorrow or today, so I could continue my microdosing on schedule, which would be tomorrow.
Based.
But I don't want to inconvenience you. So obviously, it's like all about what works with you. This is your life, not mine. Tell me what you want.
It's William's life.
Probably, the best time would probably be if you want to like, because I don't know if you can get a ride tomorrow. You have to walk tomorrow, but tomorrow
I could get a ride or walk any day. I mean, fuck, I could walk right now if that's what you want to do. I'm not bothered by anything. When do you want me at your house? I'll make it happen.
Here's
How
my
about
plan.
that?
If you want to come by after 4 o'clock tomorrow, that would be good with me. Between 4 and 8, so it's at 8 tomorrow. If I end up calling out work again, I'll just come drop it off at some.
Okay. You know, that was my dream. Did I tell you that? I think I
Yeah,
did.
you
My
did tell
dream
me
was
that,
me
yeah.
calling out of City Market so I could play games with you.
Yeah.
That was my real dream.
Because I had 8 hours for yesterday call out sick, and I still technically have 8 hours. Like, I haven't used the 8 hours yet. And the funny part about our policy is that I've realized it doesn't state you have to use the sick hours, just that you have to have the sick hours. And I still feel kind of sick. But I told myself I was going to try going tomorrow. But I also told her if I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt like shit, I'd probably call out. So, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I feel like shit, I'll call out. If I don't, I will work at 7:30 or 4 tomorrow. And then I'll work 2 days at the fuel station, 5:45 to 2:15.
Okay. Well,
and
hey.
Monday I work 8 to 12:30, so we can hang out Monday if you want.
I have a proposition for you, Jacob. RuneScape is dead. Okay?
Yeah.
And I duped enough drugs yesterday to get all the achievements in Schedule 1, so I'm done with that game too.
Based.
So now, the question is what do you want to do with me every day?
Okay, I got a couple options here. We can do,
Because I'm tired and bored and I need some. Grounded could work. Wait, is Grounded enough content to play every day?
Me and my friend have played every day for about a few weeks almost.
Okay.
There's a lot to do in Grounded. Like, there was a lot to do in that game.
We do have a lot of survival games between us. We still have Grounded we haven't played. We still have Fractured Sky or whatever that Sky game is.
Yeah.
I would be down. I've
was gonna
decided
also
last
say-
night. Tell me what you think about this. Absolutely go fuck yourself on that 4-player Baldur's Gate for the only reason being we are never all 4 here, and it is irritating.
No. You know, it's irritating me is that there's actually been a couple nights we've all been 4 here. I'm like, hey guys, you want to play? And I'm not dissing on Parker, but Parker has said no at least 3 times now. I want to strangle him.
I probably have
Because
too,
I was
because
scared
at this
that was
point
gonna
I don't
happen.
even. Well, at this point I don't even remember what's happening. It's been too long, and I feel bad because, like, man, I wanted to commit
Honestly,
to that
we
one.
haven't even done that much. You know what we've done in that world? We
Barely anything.
we killed
Fighted
both
with the
camps.
goblins.
We went over to
Yeah.
the goblins, got the druid lady, go to the camp, killed the fucking witch in the swamp.
In the swamp, and then we
And
walked
then-
down the ladder to the underground, and we didn't
Yeah,
even do anything down.
We haven't done anything in the underground yet.
Yep. Oh wait, hey, we did get Withers, or whatever his name is. Is that his name,
The
Withers?
drow lady? No, wait, no. We got
What's the skeleton guy who redoes your class called?
Oh, we got Withers a long time ago. That was like the video.
Yeah, we did unlock Withers. Is all I was saying.
Oh, well, you unlock dude. You unlock Withers regardless if you want to or not. He will just show up in your camp.
Yeah, I know. He did that in my single player world. He just showed
like,
up.
hey.
I was like, oh, nice. But I got him in I made a new single player world yesterday, and I'm trying a certain kind of playthrough where it's gonna be really weird.
I mean, we can do Baldur's Gate playthrough also. So
that would be amazing. If you want to do a 2-player Baldur's Gate, I would be actually down.
We're doing as
low
the
key,
characters, or you want to do it as because I'm okay with
either way.
the actual
How about whatever you want? You can do whatever you want, and I'll do whatever I want. We'll just do it together. Real shit though. Do you want to say fuck Rocket League and unironically start that Baldur's Gate run right now and play it all night?
I mean, we can, but I do have to go to bed at like 10 tonight.
All right, then you want to play it for 3 hours?
Yeah.
Based. Or. Well, I mean, what were you gonna say?
I was just going through the list of games that we have to play.
Oh yeah, keep going through them then.
Okay, so we got Forever Sky, we got Baldur's Gate 3, we've got we can also do, like I said, Grounded. We can also do RuneScape Dragon Wilds. Let's not be a RuneScape.
True, but on that one, I'm mostly waiting for
the updates. Yeah, I kind of feel that. I think it's got a couple updates, but nothing major. Mostly just like patches and AI fixes.
Yeah. And they're gonna be. That's gonna be like I'll probably come back to that one in like a year or two when they have lots of updates, and it's gonna be crazy sick.
We could meme on Parker, and me and you could do an Elden Ring seamless co-op. I'm just kidding. Parker might actually bother you. We did that. I just installed
That's
Elden Ring.
funny. You can. You want to install seamless co-op? You can just join us in ours.
Yeah.
You said you were going to, right?
I was going to. Yeah, I don't mind. I've played it before. I just have to remember how to reinstall it.
I don't know either. Parker had to tell me.
It's literally, you just download files, and you put those files into your files, and you go into the fucking, the note.
I wish Moonlighter had co-op. If Moonlighter had co-op, that would be the perfect game for us right now. Like, imagine playing...
Steam Workshop? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
See, I was also gonna say, yeah, we could do the Baldur's Gate playthrough. We could get.
Well, since you have to go to bed in like 3 hours, we won't get very far, which is why I was like. Yeah, and I'm not against it if you still want to do that. We just probably won't get further than we have on any of the other worlds today.
Well, not today. But like here's my thing. We can do that. We can do that, but we won't be able to really play the next couple days, just so you know, because like I said, go to 8. You've been waking up around like 6.
Like 6. Cool.
But on Monday I get off at 12:30, and I'm off of those days, so we can play like Monday night and Tuesday night. We can go sicko mode on it.
Yeah, let's do that then. Monday, Tuesday will be Baldur's Gate.
The only reason I've even been wanting to play Rocket League is simply because I want to get better to either help Dylan or to start memeing on Dylan. And so I was gonna suggest we could do is that until we get to the Baldur's Gate playthrough, we could just play a shit to the Rocket League, even if we're both bad. Because we're not playing competitive right now. It'll help me get to the level of competitive, and then we can maybe actually do something for Dylan. Because you help Dylan a lot more than I do.
Okay, we're gonna get back to this for a bit. Motherfuckers never stop. So... Hello? Where the fuck? Is... my thing? Okay, wait. How to move window without mouse. Alt space. Bro, it doesn't work the same with this thing. Alt space. Not this. Alt space. Move. So it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get so fucking triggered. How did this even fucking happen? Shh. Fuck off, cat. Alt spacebar, Windows key, Alt tab, Alt F4. I guess, should we just copy this and then close Chrome? Wait, will that end my stream? Shit, I hope it doesn't. It might, I hope it doesn't. Still working, right? I'm at the live streaming thing here. Is it? Okay, it's on. Thank God. Now, can we just go back to this? And then... Yes. Okay, that resets it. Thank God. That took forever. Let me check if they're talking.
You're kidding me, right? Okay, I'm like, that is not our goal.
That would have been funny. They would.
I don't care.
Let's see. When was the event? I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember when we cover this, if this, because all my time runs together now.
Yeah, all my time goes.
It's okay. Protect your family's dreams under our roof. American Family Insurance.
The 3rd and 4th was the last weekend. Was this last weekend, or was this the weekend before this, the 26th, 27th?
It was the 26th.
Okay,
yeah,
so the weekend of the 26th.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, so it was the 26th. So let me actually even
back up more.
This all happened.
Yeah, sure.
So after that live happened 3 to 4 days before the event. So we had a group chat.
That's right. Okay, that live happened.
Yeah.
The infamous live happened before the event. Okay, gotcha.
It was so it was before, and that's very important to this story because like it was before the event, clearly before the event, enough time where anybody could have easily pulled out of the event and not gone if it was a big problem. But they again, I should not have ever joined a live. I told them this internally. There's a text message of this. If you go to CFH Unfiltered has a whole article about this. I highly encourage people to read. But,
we listened to that article on stream. I think we went through it. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. So you've seen the text then, right? So I apologize. I took full accountability over text to the team. I told them that I should not have joined a live. Obviously, I'm the principal in all of this, and like it looks unprofessional, and I just shouldn't be on live. And also, obviously, I don't want people to feel shitty. Like I know that there are like people that weren't invited to this that might not feel good about that, and my intention was not to make anybody feel crappy because of that. But like after like 4 hours of them like trash talking me, my entire team, calling us unorganized, saying that we were picking people to be on the tour that were DEI hires and side characters and all these like crazy things about people that we're like friends with and helping. I was like, okay, let me just try to shut this down, which obviously didn't work and was a stupid idea. And so I took accountability for that through the text. Everybody essentially said, don't worry about it. These are bad actors. These women have a long history of doing this like to other people and other movements, specifically to Dean and Parker. One of the girls had like a long history with Dean where she told people, she told him to like go kill himself, things like that. So they basically said, listen, if you publicly apologize for this, you're just going to keep the ammo going because they're not going to accept your apology. So
yeah. Also, and then just for people that are listening, I don't know if I said this on stream or if you just said it, I missed it, but the people that had made this live, these people weren't associated at all with your movement. Like they weren't part of the crew. They weren't anybody out there. They were just people that were kind of commenting on it from afar. What was even the basis for their claims that it was like disorganized?
They never gave any like. I asked them for examples. They never gave any examples. The person that like started this whole drama, which I'm not going to mention her name because I don't want to give her any clout, but she like has a long history of doing this and is friends with the girls that started that live.
Sure.
And so yeah, I mean, she's just a bad actor in the space. Like, she does this with multiple, like, she's done this with multiple things. This
Sure.
is not like,
And then
I'm
also,
not a special fan.
just I'm sorry, I have the influencer brain, or I can see every clip in before it's even made. Okay, so I'm helping to clarify some of your statements, and if I'm not clarifying them correctly, you also feel free to correct me. But when you say she's a bad actor in the space, what you mean is that, like, this is a person who doesn't seem interested in providing the type of critique that could actually strengthen the performance of any of these events. It's just somebody who just kind of wants to, you know, sit on the sidelines and throw bombs at people and watch stuff kind of explode, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this, when I say bad actor, I'm not like, she's not a bad person. Like, none of them are bad people. It's just that these are not people that even believe in the electoral process.
Mhm.
Like, they've said that. They've, like, one of the girls on this live said, because another person had joined and said, like, hey, don't you think that this is, like, not helping us electorally? Like, maybe we should, like, think about that.
Mhm.
And she said, the Democratic Party, I don't want them to win anyway. That's not the purpose of this, right?
Sure.
So,
and then it just says, for people
yeah.
people that listen to this event, or for people that see people that make criticisms in general, something that's true of being parents, of being teachers, of working in management, is it is incredibly important to provide like a unified front to everybody. Like, you don't fight or second guess each other publicly. And then when it comes to things like criticism, if you genuinely want parties to improve in any given environment, generally those criticisms are always made privately, unless it's gotten to the point to where you feel like you're literally not being heard and there's something that's like so destructive that you have to step and call it out. But making these types of criticisms in a public forum almost always lends itself to just being a catastrophe. And so typically when people are doing it, it's usually just to cause catastrophes, I guess, for anybody who's listening or that cares. But yeah, so it's generally not, or at least you can remember, but it's generally not appropriate to start calling out or criticizing people publicly unless like every other option has failed and now you understand you're going to be causing a huge shitstorm doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, none of these, to be clear, none of these people had ever reached out to me or anybody in our organization to like air grievances or anything, right? Like, they just went live and did, you know, a 4-hour live, 5 hour.
One of the
So,
funniest things of all the fighting for this, and I don't know the relationships between all these people, but it was that Peyton guy telling, I think it was Dean, because it sounds like Dean somehow caught wind of some stuff that was shitty or something. I guess somebody didn't get paid or whatever, and Dean was trying to, I guess, reach out and try to compensate those people or make sure that those people did get paid. And Peyton was like, I'm not going to tell you who it was because it's not my place to say, even like, and the obvious answer was that he just didn't want anybody to even be able to make anything right. He just wanted to kind of be able to publicize it and criticize everybody or whatever. So the goal of this whole event, it seemed like, was just to throw bombs at people. It wasn't to actually improve anything or make anything better, but yeah.
No, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that at all. So like with Peyton too, so because Peyton, the whole Peyton thing happened before the tour as well. So Peyton did not reach out to anybody on our team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing. There was no like grievance or any inquiry about people not getting it. To be very clear, everybody got their travel paid for. Like, the idea that like we didn't pay for people of color to have their travel paid for is just absolutely, like, I don't even know where that even came from.
And
there was
it's
only
on its
one
face.
person.
It's also, I always think it's important when you look at people making criticisms, like, be aware of like the exact criticisms that people are making, because on its face, like, what are we saying here? That that this event had like deliberately tried to exclude black people from being paid for, like, it's just such an on its face ridiculous. Like, you would obviously assume there's some kind of mistake being made here before anything else. So to instantly jump to that, I think is a little bit comical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually like the fact that anybody even would believe that, to me, is just like it just like shows that there's like, you know, that people aren't
being very
they're
serious.
not in good faith or anything. So, you know, with Peyton, I mean, he released that video without talking to anybody, and then thought that it was weird that we asked him to like return our rental car, which obviously was like in the company name, that if you're not going on the tour, of course, like, you'd return the equipment that the tour rented you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and nobody was even telling him to take the video down or anything. I mean, we just basically were like, okay, you're not going, okay, great, like, just return the equipment.
Oh yeah,
that's all.
I always cringe when it comes time to handle like confrontational, like, bad events, because it's a very challenging situation to navigate. Even people that work professionally in HR, it's a very challenging situation to navigate. And Peyton, I guess, tried to do a getcha on a phone call where somebody, I'm assuming from your org, was calling to return the rental car. And I was surprised. It was a professional call. The guy didn't seem upset or anything. You know, he was just asking, you know, to have the car returned and all of that. And he, I think he was even careful with his legal phrasing, like, well, we can't keep you from going to any events because they're on a public campus, but obviously there are some people that prefer you wouldn't and everything. So it was pretty professional. And then Peyton tried to do something, I think it was in text messages with you, where he said that you lied about him signing a contract. Do you have anything insofar as that, or what?
Yeah, and I was like, I was responding yes to something not anything to do with his contract. So I was like, but he didn't have a contract, and nobody was telling him to do anything. Like all we were telling him to do was just please return the rental car that we rented you. Like that's literally all we could do, like legally, and all we wanted to do. Like we didn't. It's like, okay, if you want to use your platform to take this thing down, I mean that's fine. I don't.
So this Peyton guy was one of these outside kind of influencers that was basically just there to shit on the... Wait, was he there to shit on the event? Because he was part of the event because he had a car. Maybe he was part of the event and he just got wrapped up into these people who were shitting on it. I'm not sure. I'll be right back. Banana.
Don't really get it, because if you're a good person out there like doing good work and you care about this electorally, you care about stopping Charlie Kirk, then to me that just feels like a very I don't know, like antithetical.
Wait, so this Peyton guy, I just want to recap because I don't know exactly what's going on. The Peyton guy was apparently, he was involved in the event, I'm dying, bro. So he was involved in the event because he had the car. And he must have been one of these guys that basically trashed the event publicly before ever saying, like, to any of the organizers or anything, that he had an issue with it. That's my understanding. Pretty much. And he made, yeah, because he made some kind of video trashing on the event that apparently he had gone to because he had the car. So, yeah.
Full mission to all that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's his it's his platform, you know. I mean, he could do what he wants to do, but
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. We
yeah.
we read those messages, and I couldn't tell. I didn't ask you about this before, I guess. So I was curious what your response was now. It sounded like he was asking basically. It was something along the lines of like, am I violating a contract? And I think you said, yeah, the car needs to go back. And the way that I read those text messages were you were responding about like the rental car contract or whatever. And I think he was trying to spin that into saying that you guys were falsely claiming that he had been trapped in some kind of contract or whatever. So I thought it was all kind of ridiculous. But
yeah, he was really like reaching just for anything that he could. And the weird thing to me about Peyton is that if he really did care about people of color on this tour and the fact that they weren't paid, why didn't he reach out to any of them? Because he didn't. Yeah. He did not reach out to a single person of color on the tour. I spoke with every single one of them, and they were all equally as disturbed.
This is huge.
You better not be ordering DoorDash while we capture this objective. But Soldier, it's the new Carl's Jr. chicken wings.
Also, even some of them had said like, dude, you're not our white savior. Like, we don't need you to like come in here and you know, destroy the tour, destroy our opportunity, but then also like pretend like you're sticking up for us when you're clearly like just doing this for
Play up sucks. Then I basically just set it up for him.
It happens, bro. Oh, damn.
I'm allergic on the freest shot ever! I hate my life.
Nah.
Still yapping about Rocket League.
Yep.
Michael.
What?
How are you feeling, bro?
Fine.
You having a good time lately?
Yeah, I think
Working
so.
at Subway, how's that going? Stressful or is it good? You enjoying it?
A little bit stressful, but it's pretty fun. I feel like I do a good job.
I mean, pretty much all jobs are a little stressful, as long as it's like reasonably balanced.
I knocked him off course. It's a free shot.
Yep, hell yeah.
He was literally coming to stop you, and I fucking hit his back wheel because I had no boost.
I was waiting for it to stop bouncing so I could get the dribble.
Mace?
I don't have Dylan's control. I can't like constantly.
Crazy.
to chase clout and to chase money or whatever his motivation is.
Yeah.
So
okay, so this call happens. Oh no, wait. So we're still before that. So stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the whole stuff happened with Peyton, and we essentially just ignored it. We said, okay, we're just going to continue. All the people on the tour that I had spoken with directly, especially the people of color on the tour, had told me to not apologize. That they did not think it was a microaggression, and it wouldn't make sense given that those women would not accept my apology anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it would bring in more negative attention. And I guess that...
And those women are just like the random people on the call or on the live that are just like super crazy, like woke, what people talk about. Like the left is constantly fucking purity testing, basically, and it's never enough. That's who these people are, I think.
Sometime on Saturday, maybe Friday or so, sometime in that time frame, I guess that there was a conflict between one of the creators, who was a man of color, and the other POC creators on the tour. There was miscommunication between them. I really don't know what happened to this day. The guy's name is Mr. Jones, that they all, I guess, got angry with about something. I don't know what the whole story was, but essentially they had decided that I did need to make a statement on Saturday
and then just to keep
Saturday.
names straight, Mr. Jones was somebody that was working with you guys. That's part of your org, and then they were talking with another influencer that was also part of the tour, and then so all of these people got together, decided that you should make some kind of statement.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Mr. Jones was an influencer. We don't have any relation to that man, and in fact, there are a lot of allegations that have come out since that we are not in support of. He was just a random influencer. Like that's all he was.
Okay. So he wasn't.
Yeah.
So wait. So he did go
Not
on the
our
tour,
staff.
or he didn't go to the
No.
tour? Okay, he didn't. Okay. All right.
No, he was on the tour, but he was not a staffer, like nobody, like just a random influencer that was on the tour.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And so he had told me multiple times that he had spoken with all the POC creators, and they had all said, because even after we had that text message exchange, I still wanted to be sure that they didn't want me to make a statement, because I felt like I should make a statement. That was like my initial gut feeling, because I was like, okay, if I make a statement, and I just basically told them what I told everybody else, which is the truth, that this would go away. That was like my initial thought. But Mr. Jones had told me that to not do that he had consulted with everybody, that they were still all on the same page about me not making a statement. And I guess according to the creators, he had never had that conversation, which I don't know is true or not. I still like, because the creators had also told me the same thing. So like I think it could have been true, but I don't know for sure.
It's really hard. I don't know if you figured this out yet, but it's very hard because a lot of people will say things and they're not even really lying, but like especially when you've got so many different people involved. This is why, and I'm sure you know this from the organizing side of things, like chain of command is so fucking important. It's because somebody will say something like, I think somebody like A and B will be talking, and then they'll talk to C, and they're like, yeah, me and A and B were talking, and like, I don't know if it would be good.
Game. Who just joined?
I think it was Christian.
John? Hey, John.
Fuck you, Christian.
Love you, John. Oh,
Based.
He joined just to say fuck you, Christian, and leave. Wow.
That's
How do you
fucking
feel,
awesome.
Christian?
Yeah, he doesn't like his doctor to work. Do you know that fucking what's his face is probably so happy right now?
Well, McQueen?
McQueen, yeah, he finally won one after getting humiliated.
Yeah, true. 3 losses in a row, and then we got shitted on.
Shut the fuck up.
Good if Z were to make a statement, and then like C will talk to someone else, be like, oh yeah, well A and B said that Z definitely should make a statement, and then D will talk to someone else, be like, a whole bunch of people have been talking and think that D shouldn't say anything, and things like telephone like very minor ways from party to party, but then by the time it reaches something, things can get very, very dramatic very quickly because people start coming with much stronger statements than what were actually said. And then I'm sure you've played this game of like, okay, well, who actually said this, or what was actually the statement here? And then you find out that it like doesn't exist, or it was like the weakest version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really like what was going on, was that like I think maybe they had a call and maybe they had agreed and then maybe they hadn't. I mean, I have no idea. But ultimately, I guess that they were very, very upset with the fact that he was talking for them, whatever, I think that was their main complaint. So I had, and by the way, Parker and Dean, I want to make it very clear that Parker and Dean at every single instance throughout, before this happened, during this, and afterwards, had said to not make a statement. Very specifically said not to make a statement, said that it would not be good for them or for us, and had requested that we do not. So I guess they had all gotten together. We had a meeting planned on Sunday morning, which was, so this was happening Saturday night. So Sunday morning, we had a meeting planned. We didn't know any of this was going on Saturday. So I guess the creators had gotten together, created this alternate.
Wix. One platform. Any website.
I don't care, bro.
Group chat sometime between Friday and Saturday. And essentially made a plan, in my view, to take over the pack. That was the ultimate goal, was that they didn't want the tour to end. They just wanted me to be completely out of the picture and for them to take over the whole organization, essentially.
Okay,
so with their own person, whatever that means. And so I guess I wasn't involved in those chats, so I don't know what went down. I just got this through secondhand information of people I know that were in those chats. Was that was ultimately the plan, and that if I didn't immediately agree to step down, then they would continue the tour on their own. That was the plan. So we had a meeting scheduled for Sunday morning. Parker
Also, wait,
and
I'm so
Dean-
sorry. I'm hijacking this a little bit from ours because it's funny to hear a lot of stuff. One of the things that I talk about a lot, this happens in video games. It happened in real life management scenarios for me. There's a thing that I call this second meeting. And basically what it is you have your main meeting where people bring their grievances and people talk about what's going on and you all make a plan. And there's always this thing, I call it second meeting. And it's where there's another group of employees who they have like their own kind of structure. And they're like, we know the real grievances, but we're not going to tell management. We're going to all sit here and say it amongst ourselves. And it kind of like, it's this weird resentment thing. And if you're part of like leadership or you're part of management or you're part of like people management, you have to be able to identify these groups of people, and then you either infiltrate it with your own employee or you just go to yourselves like, okay guys, like tell me like what's actually going on. And if you don't ever get a hold of it, then yeah, you get like these weird semi-coup insurrectionist people that will, not to shit on them too much or anything, but like that's just a very funny thing that I've noticed. And it's funny that because I see people in chat saying second meeting and it kind of popped up again here, but yeah.
I think I'm gonna start using that now, the second meeting.
Yeah.
That's so true. Like I've seen this happen. This is obviously like in my company, this shit never happens because we're like a group of like fierce women that don't care about this shit. But when I used to work for other places, like that stuff would happen all the time where they'd be like, I'd get invited to like secret chat groups and stuff. And it's like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's dumb because like our team is so accepting and so like we want to hear everybody's input. We want to
like why just tell management, like they probably want the project to work, just like tell them, figure out a way to it's very frustrating.
Well, and they knew originally I wanted to make a statement anyway, so I wouldn't like, it's not like they'd come to me and say, hey Z, we've changed our mind, and I'd be like, well fuck you guys. You know, I mean that's not the reaction they were gonna get, and they all knew that. So that's why I think maybe something a little more sinister was underneath all this about like the pack and them wanting to take over but I don't know that stuff for sure. That's just all like, you know, my thought. But essentially like they had their second meeting and they somehow decided in the course of that 3-hour meeting to not come to us at all and to just go live. So even though we had a meeting planned for the next morning, everything was good. I had spoken to Dean and Parker that morning. They had basically said that they thought that Parker, more so Parker than Dean, had thought that it was a good idea at this point to make a statement because he was getting a lot of pushback on his like personal channel. And so I essentially said, okay, I want you to actually, because they hadn't actually watched the live at that point. So they were saying things that I was saying that I never said. Like they were saying like, oh, you need to apologize because you called them aggressive. And I said, well, I didn't say that. And they were like, okay, well, you said this. And I was like, well, I didn't say that. And so I was like, okay, well, why don't you go watch it? And then let's come back and like have like a real conversation, because I don't want to apologize for something I didn't do. I want to make sure that it's a genuine apology that actually makes sense. And they never called me back. So they entered into that meeting, their second meeting, whatever, and basically just decided at that point that they were all going to go live and just tear this whole thing down.
Okay, so they went live, and this would have been on Saturday night, I'm guessing it sounds like?
Sunday afternoon.
Okay, Sunday afternoon. And this was after you had the meeting or before your meeting?
So they never showed up to the meeting. We had the meeting. Oh, they just
skipped the meeting. Okay.
So they skipped the meeting. And then after they went live, we still wanted to try to save it. So we were like, okay, we know you guys were upset. Sorry you guys were upset. Like we didn't realize how big this was because nobody told us like how big this was. So I was like, let's set up a meeting where we can like air our grievances and find a way to move forward. And so all the creators, all of them showed up to that meeting. Every single one except for Dean and Parker. Dean and Parker did not come. They had a representative speak for them, which was another thing.
Fuck. That's okay. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's essentially what happened. And then, I mean, we haven't really been in communication since that. I mean, I will say, like, there were a lot of red flags along.
Real talk. $3 medium Dunkin'.
Don't care. Along
the way, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh well, everything was like fine and dandy and fine and good, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, there were signs of, not that this would happen, definitely not that this would happen, but there were signs of people that clearly wanted to look good and not do good. And that to us was like, we had some internal staff conversations where there were just certain like things that happened where we were like, oh, like that's
Can you
not
give,
good.
without being too specific or without calling out an individual, I guess, could you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, like I'll give like one example. So like I'll just say who it was. It was Dean. We were at we were at an event. We were at the event and it was like super hot or whatever. And one of our staffers were like collecting orders for Starbucks and like we like went and got the Starbucks and came back and Dean was like, well, I can't drink it out of this cup. And we were like, well, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I can't. He's like, they're on the boycott list. I can't drink it out of this cup. He's like, I'm going to need you guys to find another cup to pour it in so I could drink my coffee. And to us, that was just a little bit like, I don't know. First of all, Starbucks isn't even on the boycott list as far as I'm aware. And like, second of all, like, I don't know, like things like that, like it looked really like weird to us. We were like, why? Like you're that concerned about your image that like you'll still drink Starbucks, but you won't drink it out of the cup. Like that's
sure.
I don't know. Like, and there were like multiple things like that happened where it was like, you know, like sort of like making our staff go out of our way to make them look good. That was sort of like the theme of a lot of these people that we were dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. So then, okay, so all of this happens, all of this blows up. On Sunday, they skip the initial meeting, and then this is the live, I think, where Dean announces that they made a huge mistake by not pulling out before the event, and then they say that everybody is basically separating if you don't leave.
Just based on what we're hearing here, it sounds like Dean, at least Dean, probably also Parker, they're like extremely focused on maintaining like a good image, especially in the eyes of these like kind of more woke, like far left people.
Or that you need to leave and become uninvolved, basically. Was that kind of like the ultimatum on Sunday? And all of this is before any of this is actually presented to any of you guys or any of management.
But she said earlier behind the scenes, because you can see earlier she was saying that like Dean and Parker they thought it was a bad idea for her to like make a statement about whatever happened, because it would be bad for the reputation. But then once it exploded, didn't they publicly like totally act like the opposite? They're like, oh, we really should have got out. That's what they're just saying. Like we should have got out of this event like sooner if we would have known about this or some shit. That's what I heard. Maybe I'm crazy. So they're like primarily focused on their image and will flip-flop like back and forth depending on what will help their image.
Or anybody in the actual organization, right?
Yeah, none of it. They had not come to us with anything before that live. So there wasn't like a meeting where they presented their ultimatum. All of that happened after the live had already happened. So there wasn't even an opportunity for anybody to step down or to do anything because they never even asked.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then that, and then I guess there was some fallout in terms of people arguing. There were the Substacks, people in posting stuff. What is how are you guys approaching this now? Is everybody kind of gone, or what is the...
Well, we're not inviting any of these people back, if that's the and that's part of the issue is that like I just keep coming back to this of like people that want to like look good and not do good, and this is a really big problem that I've found in the influencer space specifically. And I guess that's where my naivety was going into this, was that I thought that people that post political content care about politics, and that's just not true. Like that's like objectively just like not the case. And I don't know what their motivation is for posting political content or for saying the things that they do, but there's a big difference, I think, between people that are willing to be boots on the ground and actually get this shit done versus people that just want to be keyboard warriors. And the keyboard warriors are the dangerous ones because they claim that they're all for the cause. They claim that, they really want to see us defeat MAGA and defeat Trump, but they're not willing to abandon the habits of why people leave Trump in the first, or why people leave the Democratic Party in the first place. And we know that people leave, a big part of why people are leaving is because of shit like this, because of like the tone policing and that's why I respect you a lot, because like I feel like you sort of you don't sort of adhere to that stuff, and that's what I think we need to do if we're actually going to win these elections.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things, and then we spoke about this privately, and I've obviously talked to my stream a lot about this, is that in my mind, politics is for power. Like your goal for political anything is to leverage it to gain some kind of political power so that you can enforce your political will on whatever society, right? And in democracy, you do this with votes. Monarchies do this with last names. Dictatorships do this with guns, whatever. And you get into this weird world where something I've complained about a ton. Politics is also like a very sexy aesthetic because it's politics. It's important. It has to be. It's politics. It's literally the most important stuff ever. So you get to talk about it and feel important. But sometimes it feels like, at least, I don't know why this is, but on the left, it feels like there's not as much of a goal with acquisition of political power as much as there is kind of like wielding that aesthetic to make money. And it's something I've complained about endlessly, that you get all these right-wing political influencers that are also working on all these political projects. You know, you've got Ben Shapiro and all the Daily Wire and their movies. You've got Charlie Kirk, who is like infecting the minds of every college boy in the United States. You've got your Nick Fuenteses who are doing their own like alt-right movements. Like everybody just seems to be working so hard on it. And then on the left, you have these guys, you know, your Hassans, your Vaush's, these people that are making big 7, maybe even 8-figure annual incomes that do absolutely nothing with it, except, or the little bit that they do is aimed at just countering the Democratic Party. And I'm like, you know, like,
exactly.
What happened with, where is Antifa at? They were all over in 2016, and now in 2024, when it's like actual fascism, they're completely gone. And it's like, what happened to all of the protest? Like, man, if those pro-Palestine protests were happening last year, they must be going on huge this year. And I'm looking around, I'm like, where the are they at? Like, Netanyahu is talking about actually ethnically cleansing the entire Gaza Strip. They're going to move in and take over the whole thing again. Where are these people at? They're like not to be found anywhere. And it's like, Jesus, is very, very, very frustrating, very difficult to work with, because like you said, you're trying to find people in the space like, okay, well, who wants to do things to exercise political power? And it's like, well, if I can get good clips from my YouTube and everything, maybe I'll kind of like tag along. But nobody seems to care much about the actual votes or anything. It's very, very, very frustrating to work in that space where they occupy the same space and supposedly they share the same political label as you, but it seems like it's not really on the same page in terms of exercising that political power. Yeah.
That's really interesting to think about the difference in political power from the left to the right, because there are some, you know, just by looking at what they do, you can tell that there's like some important differences. I'm gonna fucking die. Happened earlier and I had half a heart. Holy shit. But, like, that was just a really good example that I was thinking about earlier with Charlie Kirk going to these college campuses anytime, like even before and outside of elections, just to like generate attention and generate clips that ultimately benefit, I guess, the Republicans. So that's really interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, not on the same page at all. And you know what's really shocking to me too is that these political influencers actually don't know very much at all about politics. Like, that was really shocking to me, because I mean, I was having conversations with some of these people that I thought some of these things were like common knowledge, right? Like, for example, like what happened with Bernie in the 2016 and the 2020 election, right? Like, that, to me, that's just common knowledge, that we know that there was, you know, especially in 2020, I mean, all of these kids are old enough to understand at least that far back, but they don't have any knowledge of it at all. And to me, that's really concerning, because it's like, okay, well, if you want to exercise political power and you want to get people to come to our side, how can you do that by just memorizing like 10 different arguments that you use for debate? Mm-hmm. That's not, to me, that's not really doing anything at all. It's just, you know, you're essentially, you just want to have a couple of like gotcha moments, and that's great, but like, what are you doing to actually like open people's minds and to actually get them to convert?
The faster your company grows, the tougher it is to support your customers.
Enough. That's enough.
To our side.
Yeah.
That's where I'm a little lost, because I just don't feel that after like having deeper conversations with these people, I don't think that there was anybody that we could say like actually had that goal in mind.
Sure, yeah. Which, and then I'll be fair to the other side. Like, when you're young, it's hard to have that, I think, that orientation. Like, you don't, like, it's hard to imagine. I don't know how old you are. You say you worked with Bernie's campaign and everything. It's hard to imagine. It was funny because I was listening on one of these lives, an argument or something came up about Barack Obama, and I had to stop and think for a moment. I'm like, you guys were 12 years old when Obama was elected. You know, like, your perspective on politics is probably going to be significantly different than my perspective for a millennial, and then obviously for people that are older. So I also get it too. I feel like one of the challenges is how do you weaponize or a nicer would be utilize kind of like a youth exuberance for politics, but not like that same party stuff. Like, the thing that I'm so jealous about for the Trumples is they have all these people that are super amped up to do politics, and then at the end of the day, they're like ready to go out and vote for Donald Trump or support him in whatever way possible. Like, these people are going to donate their firstborn to Trump. Like, they're so excited and exuberant to go and vote for him or to support him, and then we can't get any of that on our side for literally anything. And the arguments for why people do it are not the real arguments for why it's not happening. Like, people will say things like, well, Biden was old, and it's like, Trump is old, Bernie's old, he has people that are excited about him, or like, well, he misspoke, or he said this or that, and it's like, whatever you want to say here, like, Trump has done it 50 billion times worse, so something else has to be going on. And it's very difficult to get people on board with that actual desire to exercise political will. It's very challenging.
It is, because they just fall in line, and we don't. Like, that's like the biggest issue, is that we're never willing to fall in line, even if it means that, like, we're fighting against fascism. And I think that's where, like, we're pretty close, similar in age. I'm 34, and so I totally get, like, a lot of these kids, especially, like, they don't have the history or, like, the knowledge to understand, like, how much shit we're in right now. I think, like, that's sort of the scariest part of all of this. But at the same time, like, I would hope that they would, like, come to that realization, like, just by, like, simply, like, what's happening, you know, because I know, like, if I was in college and I was seeing Trump do this shit, I would be in fear. Like, I would be doing anything that I could, you know, and which is what I'm doing now. Like, I'm just trying to do anything that I can to get people to stop supporting MAGA. And if we keep doing this, like, tone policing and this, you know, everybody's racist and everybody's sexist and everybody's a misogynist, like, we're going to keep losing young men and young people to the other side. So we just have to decide, like, what is more important? Like, is it more important for us to be right, or is it more important for us to win?
Yeah, and I would even carefully hedge that. It's like, I think it's worth it to call people out, but you have to be, like, goal oriented. Like, if you're calling somebody out, especially if you're using terms like microaggression, I don't think people realize it, but, like, if you're calling somebody out for microaggression, this person is already on your side. There has never been in the history of all of the USA kind somebody that's gone up to, like, a neo-Nazi or a Klansman and be like, just so you know, you microaggressed, because the guy would just say, well, I'm sorry, I microaggressed. I meant to macroaggress. I'm racist, of course. So, like, when people start using these terms, like, okay, well, like, these should be at the worst, these should be just, like, learning moments or whatever, you know, and at best it's just like, hey, you know, just giving you a heads up that, like, this was kind of irritating for this reason, and, like, but it seems like there's a lot of bad faith or lack of charitability, I guess, when it comes to approaching people on our own side sometimes, and then you end up in these moments where another huge thing for these moments that are so self-destructive, another huge thing, and you were a Bernie supporter, so I don't know if this thing encompasses you or not. I don't think it does. But I think we have to do a better job at identifying electoral or political allies as well. I don't mind people that are further left to me, but I don't think it can be like the socialists or the communists who are anti-electoral politics. Like, I don't think they have any place in any kind of movement that involves securing political power. Like, we said this before, and when we spoke, and then I brought this up on my stream a lot, people will say things like the left purity tests, and that's kind of true, but the issue is that the left purity tests are on issues that aren't related to getting political power. The right purity tests, but it's always in relation to gaining political power, because on the left, you know, obviously we've got this situation that just popped up with you and a trillion other situations, but on the right, like, the two biggest examples I go to are that one, when Rittenhouse was voting for a libertarian candidate, I have never seen a more cultish movement of people being like, son, let me talk to you, we've got to turn you around, and in one day that kid changed his mind. Or when Joe Rogan came out, it was like, you know, RFK, you know, I might support him. And bro, the pushback that he got was insane. So they do the same virtue signaling and purity testing on the right, but they do it in an orientation that is about securing political power, which we need to do a way better job of doing on the left, I think. Yeah,
we just don't do any of that. Like, securing political power is not even, it's not even
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Life's better when
Save
you
up to
have a drone.
23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
Don't care.
Even like in our heads at all when we're purity testing people. And that's what I don't understand, because especially with somebody like me, right? Like I'm pretty much as far left as you can get. So if I'm not passing your purity test, then like I truly like don't know who is, you know, and that's a big part of the problem too, is like, yeah, you know, we got to call out people that are shitty when they're being shitty, but we also have to like keep in mind what the intent is too, because if the intent here is to combat Charlie Kirk, and that intent is more than whatever it is that the issue is, then like we got to stay focused on that. Because I've had people on the left like doxing me. I mean, like, you know, saying things like, "Oh, you're just the female Charlie Kirk." Like that's just not true, you know. And it's like when we say shit like this is when people like lose hope in the Democratic Party, because some people, there are definitely people that are watching this situation right now go down with me and watching other situations go down, and they might be sort of petering on, do I really support Trump? Like the prices are still fucking high. Like, I don't know. And then they see this shit and they're like, okay, I'm definitely not moving over to the left. Right. And so like, that's my biggest fear of stuff like this, is like, not only are we like pushing people out like me who are like trying to do the work, but then we're also pushing out people that are viewing this shit and seeing it as a place that they don't want to come to, and they don't want to be part of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So I guess, so what is so you said you guys probably, I would encourage you to keep bridges open. When I look at Dean and Parker, so I've got, I like these guys broadly because obviously I'm a debate bro, and I'm a white male, so we always white power. I'm sorry, I shouldn't make that joke. I'm sorry. Wait, okay. I like these guys, obviously. I think that I like the hardcore debate stuff from the left, because I think that nobody on the left does it. It's literally exclusively in the domain of the right. So anytime we see people on the left doing it, I think it's good. One thing that I wish people on the left would do more that I don't see people ever do is I wish they would kind of take a stand sometimes against some of the more aggressive tone policey stuff. Sometimes I feel like a lot of the power that these people have is literally granted to them because people are so quick to make concessions to them, and there's just no reason for it. Like, I think that Dean and Parker are big enough figures that I think they very easily could have said, and I express a lot of frustration with them, and I'm sorry if they're getting bullied or anything because of it, but they very easily could have said, like, hey guys, listen, you know, like, the event was a major success. There might be some things we can do better. We're going to do those things better going forward. That's fine. And then that's it. You're good. I don't know why they felt that need to completely and totally capitulate to the other side in such a way that they're like, we're dumping all of this, because all it does is embolden and empowers these exact same people who you're never going to be able to pass their purity test. They weren't even working with the fucking project. Like, why are these the people you even care about? I wish that people would stand up a little bit more to that kind of stuff.
Oh my fucking god. What do you want?
I just wanted to tell you how the thing with Parker played out.
Oh, how did it play out? Is there a new event or something?
He texted me and he said, he was like, I'll be more open next time. I'm just embarrassed to say I'm talking to a girl low-key. IDK, it always seems to fail and I feel weird. And I was like, it's good you got new stuff going on. Just let me know. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, for sure. But I also get it. And I should have said it. And I was like, I get that girl thing, probably get roasted if you bring it up, so it's fair. It's like, everything is valid, just let me know is all I really ask you next time. And then he was like, I'm at the mall right now, but when he gets home, he'll play Rocket League. But he said,
okay, alright, based.
Majorly based.
The only reason I've ever even voted Parker was because he asked for our advice, and we all told him what to do. And he didn't listen to any of our advice, because we all told him the same thing. And then he's like, yeah, go stop talking to me. What?
What is the advice?
No, because he was like, he liked to go or something like that. And he wanted to tell her, but he's like, I don't think I'm going to tell her. And I was like, well, just tell her. She obviously likes. I can't walk away. I forget. I'm sorry. But basically, he was telling us that he thinks this girl likes him, and he was showing us text from this girl, and he wanted to tell her that he liked it too. And we're like, do it, dude. She like obviously has signs she's into you. And then he didn't, and he just stopped talking to her, and then she moved on to someone else. And that's the only reason I give him shit.
Wah wah.
That's the only reason I give him shit. And if he says like, I don't want you guys giving me shit about this, I don't care. If he asked, I won't give him shit about it.
Help! me.
Oh yeah, I got you. Hold on.
Administering morphine.
Help me.
Gotta turn the AC on. Is that what that was?
Yeah. Sorry. The coffin got me dead. I need to cool off.
That's funny. I just love that you were dying, and in the background a little fucking fan turns on. That's nuts.
Jacob, I have a question. And I don't know if your girlfriend's asleep or anything, so I don't want to be a bother, but like if my mom just drove me by your house really quick, would that be lame?
Yeah, but see, my girlfriend is asleep. That's what I was saying for.
Oh man.
When we started talking about this, she was laying in bed.
I was just hoping to get some like better food. Hello? Hey, are you off? Okay. Can you do me a favor? Never mind.
I need crack.
I don't want to. Yeah, but I don't want to bother you. You work tomorrow too, man. Well, you can just get it tomorrow, and it'll be okay for one day. And we do. And I drank all the rest yesterday. That's why I was asking. Oh, yeah. If you want milk for cake, then you need to get milk. But I'm sorry to tell you, I drank all of it with my cereal before I went to bed. I low-key think that milk you got last time was the best milk I ever had. Is that the same gas station? Then yeah, do that. That milk was awesome. JR's, right? You're going to check if... I'm sorry. I get it. And I'm in the reverse. I'm in my morning. I'm really energetic right now. So I can see where you're at. I know, but I'm alive. And I can read the room. You know what I mean? But I was saying something.
Stop. It's very frustrating when they don't.
Yeah. And the thing is like I've opened the door for them to be able to do that. Like they can still change their mind because the funny, not really funny in a haha way, but funny in like a dark humor way, is that because they did this to me, now the result of this is that they are all getting canceled themselves because of other bullshit that has come up, right? So like, for example, one person on the tour who was like heading a lot of this stuff that was on that original live, something came out of her being like absolutely horrific to transgender people, right? And like somebody found that clip of them, surfaced it. Somebody else said that they were indigenous when they're not indigenous. Like all of these things are like coming up now, and now it's just becoming like the unfuck like apology tour, and like not the unfuck of it. So it's just like it looks so stupid because it's like now you've put yourself in a situation where now you have to literally apologize for every single thing, like even things that you shouldn't have to apologize for. And now it's like now we have all these creators that are like offline not doing stuff because they're so scared because people are going to come at them for whatever bullshit that they did in their past.
Yeah, and then not to say that like people can't be held accountable for bad things that they do, especially once everybody's done bad and stupid shit that they, fucked up on. But like the goal of good criticism is to correct the actions and then to move forward in a positive direction, not to utterly annihilate a person so that they can't ever contribute anything positively again. Because, like you said, there's a lot of political power that's just left on the ground here. And Charlie Kirk has found a way to utilize this through the Turning Point stuff. And then when I was doing my canvassing stuff, I noticed that as I go in these organizer spaces, like if you're canvassing for a federal election, if you can get like 30 or 40 people to be dedicated canvassers, it seems like that's a really big deal for federal elections. And for me on my own as an influencer, like I can show up and
Did you know you can AFK
Did you
Drugs
know?
and Zaya whilst learning to code in Python?
Please shut up.
Go to boot.
And pull 400 people over a weekend to go and knock on 50 to 100,000 doors. And I'm like, and that's just me. And I can't imagine like what a unified, you know, like 5 or 10 of these huge TikTokers together could easily get like 1,000, like more canvassers than you could even manage. Like at that point, the difficulty would be, you know, to get enough lists cut up to actually have enough doors to knock on or to do canvassing. Like it would be, yeah, there's just so much there. And it's like stupid shit like this hampers it and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, and that's like, yeah, I mean, just getting like, as you said, like even 30 or 40 canvassers, like that's what we had in Florida, and we shifted both of these districts 15 points left, right, in 15 days. So, and that's the other piece of this is like the Republicans never concede anything. Like there's no such thing to Republicans as an unwinnable district. They just don't believe in it. They're like, okay, you say it's unwinnable, like we're going to still set up shop, and we're going to, even if it means that we're going to have a 20-year plan to flip this district, we will, you know, and it's like some districts for us, like we don't even need that many votes to flip them. But the Democratic Party is like, no, it's like, you know, that's just too hard. It's too difficult. And the thing is, it's not too hard or too difficult. And that's why like National Ground Game exists, because we know that we have the infrastructure to be able to get the people out. And we were hopeful that the influencers would help us do that because like, I mean, not going to lie, like when Dean was on that campus, there was a line that never ended for people to see him.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, it's just like the line just kept coming. Like there were hundreds and hundreds of people lining up. And it's like, if he used that instead of taking pictures with them and like using that for clout, if he actually used that to yield political power and to get those girls out there canvassing, like that would be huge for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to chat about in regards to this, or what's your,
No, I mean, listen, I'm just appreciative, Destiny, that you had me. I'm appreciative of all of the things. I really hope that people walk away from this and realize that like I don't want to be famous. Like I don't want to be in this situation at all, honestly. Like I'm just a political operative from rural Nevada. Like that's it. Like I'm not a social media influencer. I have no like a desire to be that. I just want to run an organization that helps flip the House in 26 and help flip the presidency in 2028. That's my goal. And anybody that wants to join us in doing that, like the tour is going to continue. Like Parker and Dean are not the tour as much as like they want to think that they are, they're not. There are so many influencers that reached out to us. A lot of them actually leaving MAGA people from that group leaving MAGA that have wanted to help us with this, and that we're going to continue on. And like, we just hope that other influencers will see this and they'll reach out to us and bring in canvassers and bring in, you know, more support. And we're going to keep building this operation against Charlie Kirk and hope that it does something for the next election.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm sure we'll chat more again in the future at some point, and we'll keep an eye on everything, and yeah, maybe find a way to hang out or something with the event. Maybe I can get my people out or something. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. Good luck with everything. Good luck with Dean and Parker, and good luck with the pack. Hopefully, this doesn't discourage too many people from working with you guys. Yeah, cool. Thanks a lot for the conversation.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
What a cluster. Jesus.
At Spectrum, we believe every day unlocks unlimited possibilities. Spectrum transforms your gaming experience.
Alright, that one's over. So... Hello? No more Rocket League yap? No yapping of any kind, damn.
I have a ton.
Nuts.
Are you here, Williams?
Only his air conditioner.
Okay. Oh. Bro, my body's so fucking weird to me. Actually, wait, never mind. That makes more sense now. I ended up throwing up a bunch of mucus because whenever I get sick like this, and I'll get a bunch of mucus and I'll start coughing and then I'll end up throwing up a bunch of mucus. And it was orange. Yeah, it's gross. It sucks. It was orange, and I thought it was from a shake I had earlier today. But no, I forgot I ate Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, because so you had to understand, like
I thought you said
body...
Shibas, and I was so jealous. You know what Shibas is? You ever been to Shiba Hut?
No.
It's a fucking stoner sandwich place in Denver.
Oh yeah,
That
true.
sounds good.
It's really good. Sorry, I just fucking derailed your ass. Go on.
No, you're good. I just called out Hawk. Imagine that seemed the happiest, but I mean, he didn't like
Again?
Again.
Sorry, that was also fucking mean and rude. Please, just fucking take me out back and shoot me.
Oh no, that's not what he said to me. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Jake?" And I'm through a shit ton, and I'm not gonna be able to make it tomorrow because I feel terrible. And he was like, "Okay, I'll leave him a note." He didn't sound like super like pissed off. He just sounded like he's like, "Oh god damn it," because I'm pretty sure he was thinking he has to. Because I called out yesterday around this time, and he had to call someone in for me.
Oh.
In fairness, around this time yesterday is the time I'd be going to bed. I don't know, but because I felt okay, like I felt like shit for most of the morning. Took like a 4-hour nap, felt better. But I think what it really was is that before I took the 4-hour nap, I took Mucinex and some allergy medicine, and I think I went to bed around like 9. So I think it's just wearing off, and all my mucus was like congealed together.
Paste.
I hate my body. I get like 3 sinus infections a year. I have terrible fucking allergies. Like, dude, every time allergy season comes around, like, the reason I actually, you know, the real reason I think I love winter so much is because it's some of the time during the year I feel like an actual human being and I don't have to take a constant supply of allergy medicine. Because any other time during the year, my eyes will water to the point they hurt. I'll get so much snot, I will end up fucking puking it up. My throat gets really ragged because I have to cough so much.
Nasty.
Yeah, I fucking hate. My body just hates itself. My allergies are insane.
I wonder if part of that just has to do... I've heard people say this before, that it has to do with Colorado, just because it's more dry and shit.
Maybe?
I'm not totally sure, though. Yeah, who knows?
Literally, this has only been happening the past couple... I don't know if, like, it's because my immune system has been permanently weakened, but ever since I got my hemorrhoid surgery, my allergies...
Yikes.
Like, severely worse. Like, sometimes they used to, like, maybe once or twice a year, I'd get allergies so bad my eyes would water to the point they hurt and shit like that. But now it happens, like, multiple times a year.
Jesus.
Yeah. I feel like shit. I think I might try to do a gamer move. But I don't know if they'll let me. Because it would be funny. If I have 8 hours of sick time, right? So technically I have 1 day covered. And here's my plan. I thought about this, and it might work. I thought about splitting up my sick time to 4 hours and 4 hours for 2 days. But that's only half of each of those shifts, so I don't know if that would work. And if not, I'm gonna use my sick hours for tomorrow instead of Thursday. Because Friday's like the busiest day of the week, and I feel like Friday's the day they get mad at people for calling out, because usually we have a shit ton of call-outs on Friday.
Oh.
And I actually really try to avoid calling on Fridays, but I don't know, I'm real fucked up. And I honestly blame one of my coworkers, because he was super sick. He called out for like 3 days straight because he was super sick, and he had to come back in on the 4th day because he had any more sick time, and he didn't want them to get mad at him. So he came back in sick, and he watched the fuel station for like 2 days.
Damn.
For half an hour on my break. So I think, and that's a really small confined space.
Yeah, you got all that shit everywhere.
Yeah. And so I'm pretty sure I think I got sick with what he had. So if they get mad, I don't know. They can get mad at me if they want. I really don't care. They have people that call out legitimately every other.
Jesus.
Like usually, this is what it's devolved to. Is I walk in and my head manager David, who's retiring in less than 30 days, and I still don't understand why he gives up. I think he's actually scared about this place when he leaves because he still gives a fuck. I'll walk in, he'd be like, "Yeah, we've had at least 4 call-offs today, so not a bad day yet."
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's with the bigger. I probably said this before. With the bigger like stores, it's nice to get away with like lots of people calling off because you always have like enough people to at least take care of stuff. But like at Subway, if someone calls off, you absolutely need to like fill the shift because there's usually only one person at the store. So that's like a lot more.
And then like they have to do that city market too, especially because they fuck themselves a lot because of the service desk lately. They've been cutting our hours. And so, like, what ends up happening is, like, well, not even just cutting our hours. Like, we have 2 people out this week. There's only a total of, like, 8 of us at the service desk, I think. And only 3 or 4 of those people get 40 hours a week. Like, half the people.
Damn.
And we're missing 2 people this week. because what happens is that one person's on vacation and the other person's on a 5-day suspension.
Oh, wow.
For almost breaking federal law. Well, technically breaking federal law. He's an idiot.
That
money
sounds
orders?
crazy.
I don't know if you've ever had to get a money order. Oh, you know what they are?
It's like some way
It's
to
like a
transfer
cashier's
money.
check. Do you know what that is?
I think so.
Okay, basically you go and you pay us money with a fee, and we give you this check that you can use for like utilities and shit.
Oh, okay.
And to pay for certain things. It's literally as if we basically print you a check under City Market because you paid us that money.
Okay.
Well, if you ever get more than 3,000, 3,000 in the state of Colorado dollars in a money order, we have to put your entire driver's license information in and your social security card into not only our POS system, but also the machine that actually prints the checks. Well, this guy did that for the POS system, but he did not do it to the machine that prints the checks. And that machine is the one that actually has the huge database. The POS system does not.
Oh.
And that's a common thing in money laundering is people submitting only $2,000 in money orders, or only getting like $2,999.
Mm-hmm.
Have to have personal information for layering.
Yeah, true.
And so dumbass got 5-day suspension.
That's funny.
Also, the people at my store, bro. So, the service desk closes at 8 o'clock now. It used to close at 10, and if you call the store... oh, sorry. If you call the store before 10 o'clock, and you want to talk to someone, it takes you to 3 phones. It puts you to the 2 phones at the service desk, and the 1 phone at self-checkout. And the service desk now closes at 8. So the auto phone system still doesn't work till 10 o'clock. And so basically this is what happens, is that I called the store, so I know both the phones and the service desk ringing, and I know the phone at the self-checkout's ringing. Shit rang for 3 minutes before my manager finally picked it up. So yeah, I literally was just sitting on the phone, listening to the phone ring as I'm sitting in my bathroom, like fucking holding my head because all the mucus is draining and it fucking hurts.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then they answered. And I was just like, yeah, bro, I threw up a shit ton. I even said a shit ton. I didn't even mean to say that. I was gonna say I just threw up everywhere, but I said I threw up a shit ton.
Yeah.
Coming in tomorrow.
Damn, so
And if they get mad at me, bro, they'll be like, why are you calling in so... Because you guys want to... Because if you want, I can call in at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Based? If they're not gonna fucking pick up.
No, it's not that. It's just like, I feel like our manager has gotten mad at me once before when I worked the 5 a.m. when I had to be in at 5 a.m. for calling out at 8 o'clock one time. 8 o'clock is the time I go to bed. When I have to work 5 a.m. That's like 8 hours until like 4:30 a.m. or 4 a.m. So right, so it's enough time for someone to sleep. So I call them at like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'll leave a note, and we'll try to find someone the next day. Manager's just like, hey, you're supposed to call out 2 hours before your shift. I'm like, yeah, I called out 8 hours before my shift. They're like, yeah, can't be calling out that early to your shift. It's like you're planning to call out. It's like, well, if I feel really sick the day before, and you guys, it's really hard to try to get someone there at 5 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
to
definitely.
try to wake someone up to get there. Like, I thought
Yeah,
you guys
and
would be
Jacob.
okay with me fucking calling out hours early so you can find coverage.
Bro.
I don't know what they're.
No, the worst part about
mad
that is I've been hit by both sides of that by City Market. I've been hit by, you can't call out this close to your shift, but I've also been hit by, you can't call out the day before, because, like, then it's like, bro, you might feel better tomorrow. Call us tomorrow.
Yeah, they hit me with that too. And then my always thought process, I don't say it, but I'm always like, bro, if I'm sick right now and I do feel better tomorrow, guess what? I'm going to spend the entire day recovering because I'm still going to feel like shit.
No, that's so real, and that's like a human standard, but they don't follow that in the corporate world. I agree with you, though.
You know how many people call out.
I'll be honest. I, as a person, as a human being, my genetics, I am like technically immunocompromised, which means like when I become sick, it takes me a lot longer to recover. Like when the sickness is gone, I still have like 6 days of like I cannot come back because there's some shit in my blood that stays angry.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm pretty sure I actually developed.
I don't know.
I swear my immune system's been weaker after my major surgery, but I did have I've had like 3 major surgeries.
It means that I recover from sicknesses worse, and if it becomes active itself, then I just get sick. I also have like genetic thing with like there's this gene that my family has.
I'm gonna go take more medicine.
It's called chronic exhaustion. It means that you like or that's what the gene causes. It means that you like suddenly and for no reason going to pass out and like be very tired, and that has happened to me many times, and it runs in my family and shit. It's like not narcolepsy, but like a similar equivalent. Narcolepsy is like you just go full unconscious randomly. This is like randomly you feel like the desire to go to sleep unbearably strong, just suddenly.
Holy shit.
But it's not that you're going to go unconscious. You're just like, I need to sleep right now. And it just happens randomly.
I don't know.
My grandma too, and her mom.
I have never thought of the difference between actually being sick and recovering. I always just assumed that like, oh, I guess I'm still a little sick. But I guess like you kind of are recovering.
No, there's definitely a moment when your fever's gone, but you still feel like shit.
Yeah, like if my throat still hurts or something. Yeah.
Yeah, your fever is gone, which means you are no longer sick.
Yeah, I actually never thought about that.
But you're just recovering. But in terms of the workplace, they only want you to stay home when you're like technically able to spread the sickness, and then they don't give a shit how bad you feel on the days after that. As soon as you're no longer contagious, they want you to come back in.
I've had to argue that against my managers before because sometimes when I'm sick, like, do you have a fever? I'm like, no. They're like, then you can come in. I'm like, but I'm throwing up. And they were like, but you don't have a fever. I'm like, it doesn't matter if I have a fever. I'm still throwing up. That still is contagious, and according to a handbook, I should not be in. Because I was working in the produce department. Like, I use that excuse as a checker. Sometimes I use that excuse when I was a checker too, because we do touch the product. But I was in the produce department at that time, and I'm like, bro, no, I'm throwing up still. I'm not gonna come and like stock vegetables and shit.
Well, it's like, bro, I worked in the deli, like probably the #1 food safety department, and here's the fucking thing. I go in there 30 minutes early before my shift's supposed to start, and I tell Chris, like, hey, Chris, like, just to let you know, I have a fever of 102, and I've been sick, and I really can't, you guys said, you made me sign a paper saying I won't call out anymore, so I came in 30 minutes early because I have no options here. I cannot work. I am too sick. But also, you put me in this position. I came in to talk about it. And this is what he says to me. I tell him this. I told him that, basically. I told him, I have a fever, but I'm here a little early so we can discuss it. He said, 30 minutes early isn't early enough, and if you're here, you can work.
Bruh.
And then he left. He just left. He just turned around and left. Like, fully clocked out and left the store. And then it was me closing for an 8.5-hour shift with another guy named Michael. He's also named Michael. He's a 65-year-old gay man who is disgusted by everything in the deli and therefore won't touch it. And he basically just helps customers. And for closing shift, where 4 hours of the work isn't helping customers, just cleaning and shutting down and fucking ripping chicken guts out of sinks, it's like vile. It's vile, and I had to do all of it. I actually unironically got worse. Like, I was already on the bounce back, but I was still having a fever when I went in that day. That was probably going to be the last day I was sick. Like, I was, like I said, I was, like, on the recovery. But from working in that filth all day, I unironically ended up being sick for, like, a whole week and a half extra after that. Like, it fucked my immune system, having to put my body and my mind under such a workload while I was that sick.
An 8-hour fucking shift. Doing all that
and I
shit.
told every single customer who talked to me that I was going to kill myself. And
That's
the whole
awesome.
situation. I told them all, I was like, yeah, I'm sick. You do not want to buy this. You can. I'm sick, though. And I feel like shit. And then I was telling them, I was like, yeah, my boss said if you can stand, you can work. So as far as I'm concerned, you guys can all get the flu. I was being an asshole.
Good, that's what they get.
In the hallway, I called the health department on them. And when I was supposed to be taking the trashes out at the end of the day, I couldn't get the bag out of the can because it was too heavy and my body was genuinely weak. And I got very angry and I just fucking yeeted the entire trash can down into the dumpster.
Awesome.
Like, threw the trash chute into the dumpster. And they had to have a guy named Austin crawl into the trash chute and get the trash can out of there.
You know what's even funny about that?
I loved it. I was like, yeah, get in the trash can, you piece of shit. I was so angry.
What's even funny about that? Like 2 weeks after he did that, he jumped in there
That was my last
again.
day there. I never worked there again.
I know. What I'm saying is, like 2 days after that, he jumped back at the trash compactor again, and that time he got in a lot of trouble and got fired.
Was it to get a trash can?
Yep, from the bakery that the bakery threw in.
Oh my god, actually. That's fucking epic.
Yeah. Is it bad that I've actually gotten to the point with City Market? I'm at the point I'm like, nah, get mad at me. Do it, please. Because, like, for some reason they like to get mad at me, but they let legit people call off, like, every other day. Even when Williams was there, those people would call off every other day.
Yeah, that's so weird, because I hear you guys say all the time that, like, you know, a lot of people get away with calling off, but then there's these horror stories of them making you work.
Yeah, because that's why
they can't get anyone to
now.
come in. They can't get anyone to come in to cover it. The managers don't give a single shit. They will be the last person called in.
Except the front-end managers. The front-end managers will work themselves to death. At least David.
Like, I've thought about this, Jacob. I really probably should have just taken your advice, and I should have just never quit, done whatever I wanted, and just fully walked around that place till I got fired.
Yeah, because it's so hard to get fired from that place. But also, I do understand because of your mental health, because that was pretty bad.
The job itself was just really stressing me out, but, like, in hindsight, I feel like your idea was a good idea.
Which is because I see some of these motherfuckers, bro, like I say, they call out every goddamn day. Like, they used to get mad at me all the time. I
know Liam at least calls out, like, twice a week.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm like, bro, if these guys get mad at me for calling out 2 days in a row, sick, I'm like, I don't know what you want from me. I could throw up at the service desk next time if you want in front of a customer.
Well, and I think you may have been there long enough to be ahead of the churn and burn thing, so you might be good.
The what?
The thing where new people get fired instantly for one mistake, but old people get kept on with absolutely no, like, unlimited leeway.
Bro, you know when I called out, like, 2 or 3 weeks ago? I think it was, like, the 10th of last month. So, like, almost a month ago. You know when I called out a couple weeks ago?
Testing shit. You can do whatever you like as long as you're loyal to the fucking
But a couple weeks I called out, right? I didn't even use my sick pay. You know, Dylan's told me this, but he's
called out. If that's okay. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you.
You good? We can play that balls game if you want now, because I'm not going to bed at 10.
I think I'm just gonna put on like a chill ass idle game like the Coin Factory while we were chatting is what I was planning on.
No, based.
But if you like want to, we can.
I don't know. I feel like Balls gets a game that you can really just talk and run around because beat the shit out of things, especially when you already know the beginning parts.
Yeah, fair enough. I've just been achievement hunting lately. But actually, what is a good? Is there any multiplayer games I could hunt for achievements on?
For achievement hunting, you can get the rest of the rounds they added.
You want to work on? You want to play rounds today? You don't have to like do achievements, but Yeah, let's just play some rounds. We never did that the other day. That'd be fun.
I said. Because I want to try out these new cards and shit they added.
All right. We do both have one pass to use Phoenix. There's a mission for using Phoenix.
Oh, there is? Okay. The fucking stupid broken card.
The card that we both normally have, like, the mutual don't use it agreement, you have a one-time pass, each of us, for getting the achievement.
Yep. Israel occupy Gaza. Wall Street Journal. Israel is heading for a full occupation of Gaza and all the risks it entails. After 18 months of saying it wouldn't occupy the Gaza Strip, Israel now believes it can't rout Hamas without holding territory. Do I have to? Fuck you. They baited me so hard. Give me like a fucking news thing that I know about. The Washington Post. Can I read them? Am I allowed to read them? Holy shit. Cat! Stop meowing. Awful. Mobilized thousands of reservists. Yemen's Houthi rebels launched a missile that disrupted air traffic. Oh, I heard about that as well. Okay. Israel government has approved a plan to expand military operations in the Gaza Strip, which would include occupation of the territory. The Security Cabinet unanimously approved the new Gaza war plan at a meeting Sunday night. David Mencer, spokesman for Prime Netanyahu, told People. What is this? Can I exit this? Jesus. During the meeting, Netanyahu emphasized that the plans differ from previous ones by shifting from raid-based operations to the occupation of territory and sustaining it. Okay. IDF Chief of Staff presented the plan to the Security Cabinet, said it would allow for stronger strikes against Hamas and help bring home the hostages who remain in the territory. And then I read on that CNN article that they're kind of split between, I think it was, I don't remember exactly who, but someone said that the prime objective is to get the hostages. Another person said that the prime objective is to murder Hamas. So, who knows? Israel ended its ceasefire with Hamas and resumed attacks on Gaza on March 18th. Since then, Israeli military has dramatically altered the map of the enclave, declaring 70% of it either a military red zone or under evacuation orders. By a UN assessment, and pushing hundreds of thousands of Palestinians into ever-shrinking pockets. Okay. Yo, shut the fuck up. Why do you need to scream all the time? Literally. So irritating. I don't understand at all. Okay. What does it say? Involves seizing and occupying more territory, yep. Which require more troops. Yep. Okay, cool. The plan stop. Wait, what am I reading? Okay, so this is saying that it might actually be really hard to fully occupy Gaza, and that the plans stop short. They're like short of that. Expanding and holding of territories, not occupation. Holding of territories would be permanent. Yikes. Forced displacement is a crime under international law. Forced displacement. This looks like it could be left. Christian left. Looks like it could be really bad. It could expand a lot of the really bad things about Israel, like there's the constant encroachment of Israeli settlements and territory, like especially if they're pushing people like further and further south. We're just gonna have to see if they set up like basically settlements, and it seems like they probably will the longer that they occupy it, right? But I don't know. That's the biggest issue that I have. Well, yeah, I think that that's probably the biggest issue that I would take with Israel, based on everything I know, is the settlements in occupied territory. I don't know. Nuts, bananas. IDF also plans to mobilize tens of thousands of reservists. We're issuing tens of thousands of reserve call-up orders to intensify and expand the operation in Gaza, increasing the pressure with the goal of bringing our people home and defeating Hamas. Crazy. Do I need to? Oh my god, this is so long. It's so long. Okay, we can do this. Overhaul the distribution of food within Gaza, on the condition that Hamas cannot access the supplies. Should I read about this? Because I hear people talk about this, that Israel shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. They talk about how aid works. Like, people seem to say that Israel will block like tons of aid going into Gaza, and then it's like causing people to starve and shit. But then I don't know how many, like, we could dig into the numbers. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a big famine going on. Like, I'm sure that it's harder to get some food, especially if everything's destroyed and things are just normally rough. But I don't know. It's not like they're literally trying to stop them from eating. Maybe. That's my understanding. I haven't really focused on that issue. A plan involves Israel taking control of and sharply reducing the distribution of life-saving aid inside the territory. Israel would establish up to 6 hubs at which humanitarian workers would hand packages of food and supplies directly to vetted civilian families while private U.S. contractors provided security. I guess whatever you gotta do. This is Hamas, abusing aid? Do I just do Wikipedia here? Misuse of humanitarian aid. They have a whole fucking section on it. Oh, okay. So, this is one thing, a specific thing. The EU provided 9 million, what are these, euros? It must be. Purchased bulk pipes, and they were dug up to build rockets. Crazy. Okay, that's a really good example of that. They will literally dig up pipes and make rockets with them. Wait. It denied that its funds could be abused by Hamas? How do you just deny that? Significant aid for building pipelines. Literally, they're well, I mean, I don't know about all that. Because if it's true that they're digging up pipelines and using them for rockets, then this is not true that it cannot be abused by Hamas. I don't know. Precautions are being taken to avoid aid being diverted by Hamas despite the high risk for potential diversion and misuse. The high risk. Well, I mean, the precautions are good either way, but there's high risk. UNRWA? What is UNRWA? Oh. United Nations. Shit. On X? Bruh. Stealing food and medical equipment from its premises in Gaza City, but quickly deleted the post and refuted its previous claim. Okay. Interview by Al Jazeera claimed Hamas was confiscating aid. Takes them underground and to houses of Hamas members. Oh, it takes the aid? Okay. Is he dead? Yeah, he's dead. Leads a lavish lifestyle in Qatar. The wealth is estimated at 2.5 to 4 billion How the fuck is he that rich? What the hell? Recovered receipts for purchases of jewelry worth tens of thousands of dollars by one of his sons. Damn. Is that related? He's like literally taking the fucking aid? Or like the money or something? Damn. So okay, so there's these like couple little instances of straight up people taking shit off the aid trucks or the aid vehicles. This guy's super rich. Not just that he's super rich, there's like receipts for purchasing jewelry worth tens of thousands of dollars. And then interviews with people. Damn. And then this is the biggest thing, the fucking digging up pipes and using them for rockets is wild. Okay. Alright, where are we at? Well, here you go. So then, at least with some of that, 6 hubs for humanitarian workers give packages of food to vetted civilian families. Plan violates the international aid groups say the plan violates the rules on impartiality in aid distribution and that the presence of armed people could lead to outbreaks of violence at the distribution zones. Yep, that is a concern. Ben Gavir. There was enough food in the enclave. $2,400 Palestinians, 64 injured, blah blah blah, according to Gaza Health Ministry. Pretty sure it's controlled by Hamas, so it's a little bit hard. I don't know how hard it is to actually tell. What the fuck is this shit? I can't read this. Are you kidding me? Bruh. Yep. So Gaza is the enclave. They say enclave a lot. $52,000 Palestinians, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, which does not distinguish between civilians and combatants, but says the majority of the dead are women and children. Okay. Oh, Israeli Defense Minister? Guy named Israel? That's funny. Sees it permanently if the hostages are not released. I don't know, this just sucks because it seems like Palestinians and Hamas are never, they're just fight constantly. They're not actually interested in a deal, they just want to fight. More territory. It will lose territory that will be annexed to Israel. I don't know. This is wild. Wild situation. Yeah, my Spotify is fucked. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I'll ask my mom about that or something. Yep. Fight, fight, fight. Crazy, crazy. Are we done with this? I'm so sick of reading this. Can't pay attention for that long. I wanna go get something to eat. Okay. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna be right back for a bit. What the hell?
I fucked it.
Oh God.
Banana.
Banana. Peanut butter. Peanut butter jelly time. Stay away from me, heathen. Heathen. Heathen.
Ooh! I juked it so hard, but I couldn't juke it enough. Oh!
Master bullet control.
No! Oh!
Please. Bruh. Alright, they got blowtorches, zappers. World War II. What is the purpose of this video? This is an ad, right?
Yes, you! In the bathroom! You get off that Latina dating app right now and like this video, or you are
Don't care.
collecting pictures of me on X channel. And today we're going to be talking about something I can only describe as Yakubian space magic. So if you're at the range right now doing that little Wendy's 4-for-4 drill on your 15-yard wrecking mission, I suggest you listen up. Because today we're going to be talking about O-block weapons development. To every yin, there is a yang. On the one hand, you have the PM evil gun, poop madness kind of archetype, and on the other, you have the O-block Halo plasma blaster. Carlos Gaines is the name of the channel, and he does all kinds of really cool stuff. Among them, making plasma guns and shooting them like a Chad, disregarding every fire safety rule in existence to test these weapons from District 9.
Wait a minute.
Gun. But look what this did. Look.
Okay. No, it's a fucking ray gun Mark II, bro.
Really hope I hope he's the one who owns that house, because I can only imagine as a rental property owner, this dude's just going through 4 garage doors a day. 3D printer bros, you better step it up. I haven't seen any plasma guns come from you yet. I mean, this dude's got the Call of Duty.
Is this even... I don't know, this is like funny, wacky shit, but this is not like... This is just people being crazy. These aren't like real O-block weapons. I don't understand.
Ray gun, what do you have?
Crazy.
Could you imagine passing by and this dude's just shooting hood fireballs across the street? And he doesn't really just stop at plasma guns, to which he's made I don't know how many. I don't even know if I guess they're actually plasma guns, but he makes lightsabers too.
This motherfucker don't miss. No, he's fucking good. That motherfucker don't miss, man. He's good. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Blowtorch type shit.
Now, as creative as that all is, Carlos, I've noticed a worrying amount of smoke detector chirps. Now, you're basically making homemade flamethrowers and plasma guns in your garage and lighting lightsabers in your bedroom.
And your smoke detectors aren't working.
You might want to change those.
Literally.
Another thing too, just me being me here. If you were to change your titles to not emojis, you would probably actually have YouTube key in on the keywords, and you'd probably get a lot more viewership, to be honest. But I can confidently give that lightsaber a 4 white mace windows out of 5. Ultimately, Carlos, I would buy your what was he selling? He puts a video out asking who would buy it. I would buy it. I don't know what you're selling, but I'll buy it. keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep shooting them fireballs across the street. It's funny. I know some of you are gonna be like, but Austin, he's gonna burn the whole fucking street down. Well, listen, I already addressed the smoke detector, okay? But do not tell me that it is not kind of hilarious if you were put, God forbid, in a self-defense situation, if you had to use this, that you would also be removing the person's eyebrows and hair in the process. Like, if you don't find it slightly funny.
Like, it's funny, but is this a realistic weapon? I feel like it would just burn you a little bit on the outside, and it'd be hot as fuck. But it's like, just use a gun. That's why I don't think this is actually like a fucking like I was imagining. It's gonna be like an in-depth video about how O-Block is like trying to get up on each other, like with the fucking gang fighting or something. I don't even know what's going on over there. But like, this is not that practical of a weapon, I don't think. But I'm not sure.
Maybe it's just me. A rookie cop comes up to the close of a self-defense situation, and he's got to bag the literal ghetto ray blaster as evidence.
That's funny.
And the ops on the ground with his fucking eyebrows burnt off. It's like a little funny.
You wake up tomorrow, all hell broke loose, shit hit the fan, and you can only grab 2 guns. What's your combo? This is my...
Because I think no matter who you are, building flamethrowers and plasma guns in your garage is really fucking American and kind of cool. I mean, I don't know how to do that shit. I could probably figure it out, but I don't know how to do it right now. In reality, this is the most based man on this platform since Double Out Sean in terms of not...
That's totally bonkers.
Do they have grow?
No, I wish they did. See, I baited you. I only slammed some of them.
Ooh, damn. What was that combo? It was teleport and empower together.
Yeah, empower is a really good fucking. Because, like, let's say you have saw. Let's say you like get saw, or let's say you get to pull or silence right there. Yeah, like any of them. Oh, that's empowered. Yeah. So now if you get any of them, like this one, when you shoot where it hits, it'll suck your bullet.
My bullets.
Yeah.
Imagine if you got barrage or any of them that make your single shot shoot multiple bullets.
I think it only works on the first bullet.
Yeah, it only works on the first shot, which is why if you had like shotgun-like vibes.
Maybe, I don't know if it triggers multiple times for shotgun-like vibes. It might. I feel like it should, but this game's also sometimes not always the bestest. Alright, that's it. Autism. Activate. You lost to the power of autism. How do you feel?
Okay, wait, really quick. Give me 1 second. I have to read this Frost thing.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
Use Frost Slam 20 times. Just use it 20 times.
Yeah, it says to use it.
Bullets
I think
now?
that counts as
Okay,
2.
Base. Base, fuck yeah.
Autism. Activate. That was autistic.
No! Oh shit, I suck, bro. Bigger Frost Slam.
Yeah,
oh
much
yeah!
bigger.
That's funny, I get that on my bullets. I think Empower might actually just be my favorite thing in this game now.
It's good, bro.
Straight
I
up.
love Empower.
Oh, got the mission.
There's a fucking helicopter outside.
I can hear it.
Oh
It's
no!
mine.
That boosted me down! Stop!
Is mad at the power of autism doing its thing. I can tell when this is getting mad at me. You know,
Not when I'm blocking in. Not when I'm bad. When I'm blocked in. There's a difference, dude. My God. No, now you have the laser beam of death?
Yes.
How did you die? I didn't.
Dylan, that was. I thought my girlfriend texted me. I asked who the closing manager was because I felt bad making Austin have to call 2 nights to the road to find a replacement. I'm homo slowed, by the way. For some reason, it's glitched.
That's funny.
My entire build's based off movement speed, and I can't move.
That's why I said, that's funny, and then I killed you. No!
This game. But I have
but you can't play it as good as I can.
Yeah.
No, but you can get closer!
Yeah! I was like, but you can't run.
Yeah, but now you can't move for some reason. I guess when you double pop it off of block and bullet, it fucking bugs it or something.
Maybe 2 of them makes the effects last longer than it actually shows.
Could be something like that. No, 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 stop. No! The deflex killed me!
You 2 can play that game.
We can't move! No one can move! Just shoot! We're just in a standstill shooting, waiting for the reload! That was awesome!
I'm winning.
That was way too awesome.
That was just a bad map for me.
Ooh, lucky bastard. Get these boxes off of my fucking head! No! That was fucked up. That was actually fucked up, Jacob. Fall to your death. I said fall to your death.
What's wrong, Williams? What's wrong, Williams?
No! No, no, no. Dude can play at that game, he said. And he meant it! When neither of us can move, it gets so painful.
Not to mention I'm fucking just the fastest fucking boy, and I can charge.
Like, I'm just stuck underneath you, no!
Yeah, I got shield charge, so I can actually, I dash and shoot when I shield. That's one way to deal with me. That means you have to hit my ass.
Yeah, that is true. I do have to.
I got the achievement.
Oh, you got it? Nice.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not permanently frozen anymore. Oh.
Damn.
Suffer.
I am suffering.
Dazzle. Such a weird code. Because it freezes you in the air. It doesn't make your movement stop. It doesn't make your control stop. So it makes all movement stop working. From a freeze.
Oh.
We got 2 purples. Taste of my own medicine. You're empowered shot. Have to hit it though.
I hope you have to not suck.
No. Alright, it's down to the wire. I'm actually fucking staying still so I can hit me. Oh, finally! It finally stopped!
No, 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 no! This is the real wire. No! Pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. Give me your strength, God. I'm begging you. God, give there was ever a moment to lend me some strength.
Nah, he chose me.
Come on, God! Please, God!
I'm stuck! Yes!
No, the deflect!
Yeah!
I got outplayed. That was the deflect on a homing shot.
Yeah, it was. Ooh. I'm going explosive build. You're welcome.
I want to be
this
tanky
build.
this game. Tank is
That's
fun.
fine.
Nope.
I'm the villain from Incredibles, such as those minds of.
What, the bomb guy?
Yeah!
The French bomb guy.
I see. I have a lot of memories of that guy because in the Incredibles game, he's a dickhead that you have to fight, and he's actually kind of
thank you for knowing that.
That's what I know
PlayStation
him.
2 flashbacks be like.
I kind of want to play a game. Pickle Rick. I just want to do something. I'm just sitting here like fucking doing nothing. Nuts. Guy named Pickle Rick. I don't know any guys named Pickle Rick, to be frank. Shh. Fuck you, dumbass. My Factorial world is so fucked. It's just too big, and I'm like not in a position to fix it. It's so fucking hard. But then I don't want to restart because I hate playing the fucking beginning like over and over and over and over and over. Nutcase. Oblivion is so wonky. It didn't work for me when I played it. Could play Skyrim. I always love Skyrim. I don't fucking know, bro. Pickles. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. I don't know, I'm kind of bored. I might just end this bullshit for now. Try to go do some other stuff or just chill. Probably will do that. I might eat some food or something. Yep, I'm out of here. Good luck. Get the fuck out. Get out!